Yo, much love, respect, and appreciation. Shout out to anybody that's going to come in at this moment or a little bit further during the live stream. But we got a few stories to go directly over, so let's get directly into it. So, as you can clearly see by the photo in front of you, you have Caroline Levitt slams fake news, claims Trump planning to deport thousands of Ukrainians. The United States press secretary stated that she blasted fake news as routiners report that President Trump is considering deporting Ukraine refugees from the United States. Quote, this is more fake news from routiners based on anonymous sources who have no idea what they are thinking about. The truth, no decision has been made at this time. The White House has pushed back hard against news reports that have issued with sending out rapid fire responses via a social media. Trump and his team has also taken over the small pool of journalists that follow the president, removing some outlets like Associated Press and adding in media one friendly to the president. Routiners citing a senior Trump official and three sources familiar report that Trump plans to revoke temporary legal status for some 240,000 Ukrainians who have sought refuge in the United States after Russia invaded their country. The planned rollback of protections for Ukrainians was underway before Trump publicly feuded with Ukrainian President Zelensky during their meeting in the Oval Office last week. It is part of a broader Trump administration effort to strip legal status from more than 1.8 million immigrants who were allowed to enter the United States under temporary humanitarian parole program launched under the Biden administration. This move follows the White House suspending its intelligence sharing with Ukraine and cutting off all United States military aid to the war-torn nation as America tries to force Kyiv to the negotiation table. American intelligence has been crucial to Ukraine for it to identify Russian military targets during the brutal invasion that began back in February of 2022. The majority military and intelligence move comes amid serious fears that Ukraine would run out of American military supplies within a few weeks. So again, I'm putting this up there just to get some thoughts directly up there and to also show that I'm looking at an even playing field. I'm just saying, I'm looking at an even playing field at this moment in time where anybody who was considered an immigrant is pretty much being sent right back to their original homeland, right? That's all I'm saying. But, a lot of people are being sent directly back. You had a lot of people online stating that when it was their situation, it was wrong, and people need to stand up and they need to say this and they need to say that. And I just want to put this out there again. For the longest time possible, Black Americans have specifically told a lot of people, hey, you may want to listen to us. You may want to pay attention because you are on borrowed time at this moment in time. When you come here, it's going to be all roses, cherries, and sun drops and all of those good things because you're going to get a nice little supply, a nice little taste of America. But again, when America sees fit that they have no longer any type of need for you, or that you are no longer beneficial, or that, of course, your time is up, they're going to boot you directly back to once where it is that you came from. But again, like I said, people don't want to listen, and it is directly what it is. But I'm just clearly trying to state that it doesn't matter what an immigrant looks like. It seems like this administration is sending everybody back. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I'm just trying to get that point directly across. But also, I want to go through and give a little bit more information on why it is that I'm bringing this up and why I feel that this is so important. Because another thing that we've talked about before is the fact of immigrants coming from other countries and receiving government monies, such as Social Security, right? And there's been times before where I've brought up this conversation and people told me that I specifically didn't know what I was talking about. I had no type of proof or anything like that, right? So what we're going to do is listen to mainstream media and on top of another video that I have paired with this, and I'll let you decide.
Ukrainians are temporarily living in the U.S.
There are some viral videos claiming Ukrainians are receiving benefits like Social Security while they're living here.
So Jerry Carnes with our Verified team is digging into the claim.
President Joe Biden is committed to welcoming 100,000 Ukrainians who fled the war there to find their way here to the United States. There are viral videos like this one questioning that commitment.
President Biden has made it legal for Ukrainian immigrants to get SSI checks.
Our viewers asked us to verify if Ukrainians here in the United States are receiving benefits like Social Security. Let's check. Our sources are the Social Security Administration, the Office of Refugee Resettlement, the Uniting for Ukraine program, and immigration lawyer Charles Cook. According to Cook, there are 3 ways Ukrainians can legally seek refuge here. One is through the Uniting for Ukraine program. Those who qualify can stay in the U.S. for up to 2 years as humanitarian parolees and receive some benefits.
They're eligible for food stamps. They're eligible for supplemental Social Security, SSI. They're eligible for insurance, Medicare.
The Social Security Administration says that certain Ukrainians in the U.S. may be eligible for SSI benefits. The Office of Refugee Resettlement confirms humanitarian parolees may also be eligible for assistance through existing programs, like the Temporary Assistance for Needy Families, health care through Medicaid, and food through SNAP.
Donald Trump.
So we all heard that, right? We all heard that they were able to receive government assistance, the same exact government assistance that ordinary American citizens, those who have paid their tax dollars, those who have invested into this country, those who have worked, those who have struggled, those who have created businesses, those who have raised families after generation after generation after generation after generation, right? The things that we are supposed to receive and get, which seemingly, some people are losing out on at this moment in time. And I'm talking about ordinary, actual American citizens. Some people are having a hard time getting certain things, right? Even our veterans who fought, right, to protect this country, right, to protect the people, did whatever it is that the government asked specifically of them. They're having a hard time getting what it is that they themselves should be specifically getting. They shouldn't even have to ask or beg for it. If you serve this country, you fought in wars, you should, at bare minimum, you should be getting a house with no problem, right? They should be able to get you a simple standard issue car with no problem, right? And many more things, education, and everything like that, right? Because you decided to put your life directly on the line in order to do something for us, which we didn't ask you to specifically do, right? But even with all of these things that I just listed, all of those people, including you that are listening, have to struggle, have to fight with insurance companies. You got to fight with the government to make sure that your check is going to come directly in the mail. You got a lot of elders right now where their benefits are drying up at this moment in time, and they have to figure out what they're going to do. And you have a lot of elders right now that are having to go back into the workforce, which is crazy because growing up, you always heard that, hey, retirement, that's, the golden years for a lot of elders out here. They get to just, relax on the money that they saved up, right? That the government specifically took from their checks because they're like, hey, you're not going to know how to save. So we're going to take hundreds of thousands of dollars and we're going to put this money away for you so that when it's time for you to retire, you will have a little nest egg to sit and it'll last you and you'll be able to do, technically whatever it is that you want to do. You'll be able to live comfortably. Right. But even with that, you have ordinary Americans that are struggling. They have to return back to work at the age of 60 and 70. But yet you have immigrants from other countries that are able to come directly over to the United States. And without batting an eye, the government is like, here's some Medicaid, Medicare. Hey, here's some SSI. Hey, here's some SNAP benefits. That's crazy. That is some diabolical work right there. All of your tax dollars, everything that you struggled and worked so hard for that you have to beg the government to give you, an American citizen, they're freely given to other people just getting over here. So for anybody that wonders if immigrants are receiving any type of SSI, matter of fact, let me just replay this one more time. Right, we're at a minute and 29. Let me just replay this one more time because I know that we have some people that just caught the live stream, just got in here, so I want to make sure that everybody's on the exact same page. We're talking about immigrants that are able to receive government assistance, SSI, right? So we're going to listen to mainstream media, which everybody listens to, and they're going to list the actual sources of which anybody can go to, which is where they got this information from.
Thousands of Ukrainians are temporarily living in the U.S.
There are some viral videos claiming Ukrainians are receiving benefits like Social Security while they're living here.
So Jerry Carnes with our Verified team is digging into the claim.
President Joe Biden is committed to welcoming 100,000 Ukrainians who fled the war there to find their way here to the United States. There are viral videos like this one questioning that commitment.
President Biden has made it legal for Ukrainian immigrants to get SSI checks.
Our viewers asked us to verify if Ukrainians here in the United States are receiving benefits like Social Security. Let's check. Our sources are the Social Security Administration, the Office of Refugee Resettlement, the Uniting for Ukraine program, and immigration lawyer Charles Cook.
Pay attention.
According to Cook, there are 3 ways Ukrainians can legally seek refuge here. One is through the Uniting for Ukraine program. Those who qualify can stay in the U.S. for up to 2 years as humanitarian parolees and receive some benefits.
They're eligible for food stamps. They're eligible for supplemental Social Security, SSI. They're eligible for insurance, Medicare.
The Social Security Administration says that certain Ukrainians in the U.S. may be eligible for SSI benefits. The Office of Refugee Resettlement confirms humanitarian parolees may also be eligible for assistance through existing programs, like the Temporary Assistance for Needy Families, health care through Medicaid, and food through SNAP.
So we heard that, right? So they get insurance, they get SSI, they get Medicaid and Medicare, and they also get SNAP. So I just want people to understand, when you have people out here who are American citizens and they're fed up and they're mad and they're angry at the fact that other people from other countries can come directly over here and receive these things just off the bat, just off the cuff, while they have to write to their senator, they got to talk to somebody in government, they got to wait in these long phone lines to try to get a representative online because, hey, you know what happened with my insurance? I've paid thousands, tens of thousands of dollars into my insurance, and this is the time I really, need you guys to help me out. Case in point, California and those fires. What did the insurance companies do? It was like, man, that's bad. Y'all just really had a fire. It's terrible that happened. But y'all know, those millions that all y'all paid into, those hundreds of millions of dollars that y'all, we can't really help y'all out right now. Things are a little bit tight on our end with the insurance company. So we're going to have to fall back real quick. You're not going to be able to get that money that you specifically need. Again, this is insurance, right? Insurance that American people are directly paying directly into for a just in case, and that just in case hit, and you saw what the insurance companies did. But do you think that those same insurance companies would do the exact same thing to those immigrants? No, they wouldn't. They would divvy out millions, hundreds of millions of dollars to make sure that those immigrants are safe and sound, to make sure that they are fine. This is letting you know how America sees the American people versus how America is looking at the immigrants. Notice who gets the priority and who does not. Notice who has to wait in line and who does not. But like I said before, a lot of people don't want to pay attention. A lot of people don't want to listen to the fact that the United States is a corporation, is a business at this moment in time, and it's always been a business. So therefore, you are the workers. And just like with any other job, just everybody here has worked an ordinary job at this moment in time, including myself. We all know that we are on borrowed time. We know that at the end of the day, they have 10 to 20 people in line that they can just decide, oh, well, I don't like the way that you stocked this up. I don't like the way that you came in with the uniform. Daryl, bring in the next 5 people, right? And then they'll sit up there and get James, next week and bring him directly in to take over your spot, and so on and so on and so on. But like I said, people don't want to listen. People think that they are fine and dandy. A lot of people think that their position that they have in this society in the United States is completely safe and sound when everybody is bought and paid for and can be replaced if so need. And just on a whim. But like I said before, mainstream media, this is them telling you This is them specifically giving you that information, showing you the actual sources that, yes, hey, they're getting the SSI. Whoops. Hey, they're getting insurance, which you're having a hard time getting. Whoops. They're getting SNAP, which they want to cut off directly from you. Whoops. And so on and so on and so on. It's crazy. But, let's continue.
Donald Trump just said he wants to deport 240,000 legal Ukrainian refugees from the United States. And there's air raids going off all around me here in the capital of Ukraine. And it really begs the question, to where? Where are Ukrainian refugees supposed to go while the United States is siding with Russia? Most Ukrainian refugees I have met in the West are people who want to go home, who would happily go home. They don't need to be deported. They speak of their home in Mariupol, Donetsk, Luhansk with love and passion, places they grew up and places they would go home in seconds. But instead of giving them a home to go to and allowing them to go home, Donald Trump has decided to side with the person and the country that took their home from them. And that is why this is so cruel and so evil. This city is being bombarded, as you can hear, on a daily basis by Russia. And that is why there are 240,000 Ukrainian refugees in the US. People that would go home in a second. But Donald Trump has decided instead that he wants to side with their enemy, to side with the person that's firing drones and missiles all around me right now. And that's why this is particularly evil and particularly sick.
Right. So we heard his opinion, and I'm guessing he's directly in the Ukraine. You can hear the bells and the whistles and everything going off at this moment in time. Like he said, is getting bombarded every single day. So technically, as he was talking, things were happening, right? Even though clearly in the video, things were not specifically happening, right? And even from his stance, he feels that it is completely ridiculous that, the Ukrainians would happen to get deported if it happens. And I see some comments here where people are telling me that I'm spreading misinformation. I clearly read from the very first article. This is how I can tell that people don't happen to, pay attention. I literally read from the very first article where it stated that Caroline Leavitt slams fake news claims that Trump is planning to deport thousands of Ukrainians. So, like I said, for all intents and purposes, this is up in the air. And that's the main point that stating. And I'm also showing the fact that you have a variety of opinions directly out there when it deals with what is happening in between Trump and the president of the Ukraine, and how it's up in the air. And then on top of that, how Trump and his administration have been pushing forward with getting immigrants directly out of here because some people have overstayed their welcome. Right. So again, a lot of people need to actually pay attention before technically leaving comments. It helps out just a little bit. But again, some people decide to get emotional. People decide to feel a certain type of way. Nah, it is what it is. But the other thing that I wanted to talk about is this one here, and it has to specifically do with China. We've heard some things going on with China and Trump. Let me make sure I got the image. Yes, there we go. So this is the next image here, where it says just in. China says, quote, if war is what the United States wants, be it a tariff war, a trade war, or any other type of war, we're ready to fight till the end. So that's just a broad thing there, right? You can read, you can take it how it is that you want to take it. And like I said, I respect the message. I respect it. Because at the end of the day, the United States, as I've always continuously stated to a lot of people, the United States, in order to become or to be the perfect hero, and in order to be the savior, the United States has to enable or quote unquote create villains, right? You can't sit up there and say that you're the greatest without quote unquote proving that you are the greatest, without battling, without being able to show it against something else, right? It would just be in empty words. So in order for the United States to be able to do this, we've had, a lot of wars. We've had a lot of enemies magically, throughout the days, throughout the years, throughout the decades, right? And now we're at the moment in time that this is not a normal war that, in a sense, we are looking at. We're looking at something that deals with more finances. We're dealing with something that's in tech, right? And this is something that they've talked about from, I want to say maybe like the 80s, 90s, and so on, where the wars are going to elevate to a point where it's going to not be on the battlefield as we know it at this moment in time. If China realistically wanted to wage a tech war, they could do it with no problems, and America technically wouldn't be able to do anything about it. Now, yes, America does have brute force when it deals with all the armaments, the weapons, and all of those things, right? But I want people to understand one thing. If you happen to drop, if at any moment in time an EMP hits the United States, we're going back to the Stone Ages. You can be as patriotic as you want to be. You can be as American as you want to be. But the end result is anything in the United States that is running on a computer chip is fried. It is done. We don't have tech embedded within all of the technology that we use right now to shield it from an EMP. We don't. So everything is gone. So guess what? When the lights are out, chaos is going to rise because a lot of people are not going to know what to do. A lot of people are going to go automatically into survival mode, right? They're going to have archaic type of, thinking and movements. And people who are once neighbors are now going to be enemies. And then people who are once enemies may now just become friends. It's going to be topsy-turvy. And the only people that you're going to have to blame directly for that would be the United States government. But guess what? You can't get in contact with them because everybody that's a part of the government is now in hiding and they're in some type of shelter or underground city somewhere where you are not. So while on a surface level, we're going through chaos and all of these things, underground is safe and sound. Everything is real good. Matter of fact, the funny thing, talking about an underground city, there's a show that came out where it basically talks about something took place in the United States on a surface level. And in order to get prepared for that thing to happen, they made sure to build an underground city deep, deep, deep in a terra. Right. They built it underground. They got their whole fake sun directly down there. They got a whole nice city that looks like Pleasantville. Everything is running on electric cars. They got a curfew. They got all of these things, right? But they made sure to put the most important people there. You know who's not there? Us. You know who's not there? The ordinary people. Like I said before, people don't pay attention to the things that they put into the media directly in front of people's faces, and they've been doing this for years. Just like the case in point, how they told you guys, I'm technically deviating a little bit, but I'm going to circle it back. How they told you guys consistently that, hey, we have other continents directly, underneath us. Hey, we got a larger ocean that's larger than all of our oceans combined in the Earth's crust. They told you all of these things that are directly underground, and people ain't paying attention. Is going to get a little bit of a conspiracy type level here. I'm going to, aim this right back towards General Byrd, where he sat up there and said that there were like multitudes of other continents, some of which are larger than North America, past Antarctica. But like I said, there's neither here nor there, right? Just throwing that directly out there just because. The main point is, if the United States is going to throw tariffs directly on somebody, you have to expect that they're going to inevitably return fire, right? So we're reading this from the Telegraph, right? They said China says it's ready for war with America. China has stated that it's ready for war with the United States as it raises defense spending and imposes retaliatory tariffs on the United States imports. In a direct threat to Donald Trump, China's representative in America stated, quote, if war is what the United States wants, be it a tariff war, a trade war, or any other type of war, we're ready to fight until the end, right? P.D. Hegseth, the United States Defense Secretary, in turn stated that the United States is prepared to go to war. Now, notice how the two tones of that message, right? China says that on no matter what battlefield you're talking about, we got you. We in here. We're set. We're going to slide, right? The United States is like, yeah, we're ready for war. Brother, you can't even specify. You're just making it seem like you're about to go all out. It's going to be airplanes. It's going to be this. It's going to be that, and yada, yada, yada. Because I want people to understand, I've made sure to specifically tell you guys and showcase stories to you guys over the years where the United States has been hacked including our government, has been hacked by a multitude of different people all over the world. Even people within the United States have hacked our government. So how are you sitting up here stating that you're prepared for war? You can't even secure your own data. You can't even secure your own computers in government. But yet I'm supposed to sit up here and full-heartedly believe that the United States, they about to really go in. They gonna really handle business. I'm not. Things looking a little bit faulty. Things looking a little bit rocky. Because like I said, if you got people in the United States that can do things to government computers, what do you think somebody like China would be able to do if they really felt that the United States was a threat? They could do this in a matter of seconds, minutes. Like where are we at right now? Like, this is crazy. We don't really have a type of infrastructure to, in a sense, do a certain type of fight. We really don't. Because we already know what the end result for the United States is. Like, things getting a little bit too tough. We're going to press the red button. That's it. That's it. And that's another reason why you don't see a lot of these countries. You don't see people really trying to, quote unquote, invade and do a lot of things to larger countries, because everybody has the red button. And because everybody has the red button, nobody wants to be the first person to push the button, because nobody wants to go down in history as being the one that started a World War III. So this is why you got this back and forth between all of these big presidents and these large guys, this bolstering, this flustering, puffing out the chest and everything like that. If people are actually real, somebody would have sat up there and just did it, but they're not going to do it, because they don't want to go down in history as basically plunging everybody into a cold winter for 30 plus years. They don't want to do that. They don't want to do it. They don't want their name. They don't want their lineage or anything like that. So this is why they'll sit up there and posture and do all of these things. But like I said, people don't pay attention. Right? So Mr. Hegseth also stated that the United States was prepared and that those who long for peace must prepare for war. That's crazy. That's crazy. If you long, so you're like, if you long for peace, you got to prepare for war. Why can't you just long for peace and just make it happen? Why do you always have to follow everything directly with war? It's like, we're going to sit up there and war this out in order to create peace. Why can't you just so happen to create peace? Are you saying that you got to beat people into submission in order to get the peace out of them? Because then it's not really peace. It's more so just somebody submitted. It's more so fear and everything like that. It's not out of respect. It's not out of a symbiotic relationship. It's because you forced it, which means that at a certain amount or a given amount of time, somebody else is going to rise up during that piece and they'll be like, we don't want this no more. This ain't the way that it should have been. You forced us to do this, and now we're going to turn this upside down. Like I said, they show you this in every single movie. Whenever people try to force a type of peace where it's not symbiotic, everything is all chaos, right? Next, they said the United States hit China with a 20% tariff in response to what the White House considers to be Chinese inaction over the flow of narcotics into the United States. Beijing has responded by announcing plans to boost defense spending by 7.2% and hit the United States with a reciprocal tariff of 10 to 15% on certain imports from March 10th. They said in combative statements online, China's Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the United States Embassy warned Washington that intimidation does not scare us and criticized Mr. Trump for linking tariffs to the narcotics crisis. Now, I'll sit up there and tell you this. Any type of narcotics that comes directly into the United States knows about it. It is directly what it is. The United States knows about any and everything that is coming into its ports. And the main thing that I've told you guys before is that, hey, the United States is going to be like, we got these types of things coming into the ports. It is a little bit bad, but we got to sacrifice a couple of pawns, which are basically the American people. So if you are Caucasian watching this, I'm talking about you. The United States government is sacrificing you, your families, and your communities in order to make a little bit more money. right? It's the same exact thing that they did with the black community, right? This is the same thing that we tried to warn you guys about, but you guys, for whatever reason, you didn't really want to listen. You didn't want to take heed. So now you have to suffer. Now your families are suffering. Now your birth rate is suffering. Now your communities are suffering. Right now, your lineage and your generations and your history is suffering because you enable this to happen directly to your people after we specifically told you, don't do this. Listen to us. Look at our examples. What they did to us, they're going to do to you much worse on a way larger scale. And here we are. Here we are. Where the consistent talks from the United States, from both presidents, I want to mind you, you had both Biden and you also had Trump talk about the drug crisis in the United States. Primarily, they made sure to speak to the American people. And by American people, I mean Caucasian Americans, because this is something that primarily affects your community, that is being imported and shipped to your community, fed to your community, your kids, your schools, your colleges. You're literally watching your own government dismantle you, depower you, defund you, imprison you, and all for a little bit of profit. And by way of who it is that they consider enemies, but really they're not enemies, they're frenemies, because everybody's able to profit off of a little bit of something. And if they're able to sacrifice a few of you, then it's all worth it. The less that they have of you to worry about directly out here means that they'll be able to stay in power a little bit longer. That means that there'll be less resistance directly out here. That means that there'll be less information being placed, which means that people will continuously stay in a perpetual sleep. And again, this is something that you guys enabled. And this is why I continuously try to tell you guys that, hey, you might not want to keep trying to do this whole riffraff on social media and focus on the black community, you know, with your super far right and all this other type of stuff. Because at the end of the day, all of those people who are putting up those distractions who look like you, who are telling you to believe this and that the black community this and the black community that, they are making sure that you're not paying attention to the actual people who are profiting off of your downfall. Off of every single grave and headstone that you have from somebody that OD'd in your family or your community, the people that are able to sit up there and profit directly off of that. You got the insurance companies, you got the doctors, you got the countries, you got the government officials, you got the hospitals, you got the lawyers, you got the police, you got the DA, you got everybody profiting off of the downfall of your community, of your kids, of you yourself. And you're watching it happen. That's crazy. Y'all better pray that the people who are in government right now actually care directly about you. You better pray, you better hope. That's the best that I, in a sense, got for you. You better pray and hope. Because at this moment in time, America is not looking that great. It hasn't been looking that great for a very long time. But it is what it is. So, you know, the best thing I got to tell a lot of you guys is you better start pulling yourselves up by your bootstraps. Don't go online like you've been doing for the last 10 years, complaining about this, narcotics epidemic in your communities. Don't be victims, because you're not victims, right? The exact same thing that has been stated to Black Americans. You know, you're not victims. You enabled yourself. You bought it yourself. Nobody told you to buy it. Nobody told you to bring it into your community, into your house, and give it to your kids. Nobody told you to sell it and redistribute it. Nobody told you to do that. So yeah, that's pretty much where we are at this moment in time. But like I said, this is the administration, this is the government that you voted for twice over. It doesn't matter if you're a Democrat. It doesn't matter if you are a Republican. This is specifically what you voted for. In every single city, in every single town, whenever it is that you have the police, of which I have covered many a times on both of my platforms, where I've specifically showed that even the officers who are supposed to obey the law, they're supposed to enforce the law, they're supposed to protect their people, they're doing everything for selfish gains and benefits. The same drugs they quote unquote get directly off of the streets are the same drugs that they're putting and pushing directly out by way of the corrupt cops or the undercover cops that they have. So they'll take all the evidence that they have and redistribute it directly out there into the streets so that they can get more of you guys into those jails and prisons. So just like how people used to always talk about and preach about, oh, why is it that, you know, all the black Americans, you guys are always filling up the jails and the prisons? What do you think that the government is doing to you right now with this epidemic of narcotics flooding into your streets? They're making sure, because they must have a shortage of black Americans. So in order to fix that shortage, so that, you know, all of the investors, everybody on the board, everybody who invested into these prisons and these jails, in order for people to be happy, they have to create an epidemic. They have to create a problem to the solution. See how that works? How the hero needs a villain in order to be considered the hero, how the United States is going to, you know, create a crisis in order to fix said crisis, so that you can worship and love said individuals and think that they're actually doing a job that you told them to do, but really they're the ones that created it, so that it can seem like they're actually doing a job. Yeah, it's crazy work. It's crazy work out here. 100% diabolical. Diabolical. Also, again, much love, respect, and appreciation directly out there to any and everybody who is currently watching this live stream at this moment in time. Love you guys a lot. Appreciate you guys. You could have been anywhere else in the world, but you decided to be right here with me directly on this platform. Shout out to you. So now we're going to go into a video. I may have another article after the video, but we're going to go directly into this video and let this young woman explain a little something about history.
Turned their backs against the U.S. and fought alongside the Filipino resistance during the Philippine-American War. If caught, these soldiers were deemed as traitors by the U.S. and then hanged in public. These black soldiers couldn't justify their participation in the possibility of Philippines and the rest of Asia being subject to the same invasion, slavery, and destruction that was placed among them and the Native Americans in the U.S. They feared that the same thing would happen to Philippines, and they couldn't stand it. One of these brave soldiers was Captain David Fagan, who was a highly skilled guerrilla officer. He led 8 military operations, which helped temporarily give Philippines an advantage in the war, but we know how it turned out. US deemed him as a traitor and put a 600 bounty on his head, but he was never found. Dehumanizing tactics used on black Americans were also exported to the Philippines during the American colonial period. They deemed Filipinos as the N-words of Asia. Because of this, the US embedded anti-blackness and colorism within Filipino society and culture to destabilize and keep Filipinos and the small black population there divided. The US actually left Philippines in a worse situation than Spain ever did, and their kill count was a lot higher, but that's a conversation for another day. It is Black History Month, and one other way that they are related is that the Spanish also brought enslaved Africans over to the Philippines during their colonial period. Happy Black History Month, and thank you to our black allies. Just wanted to highlight how Filipino history and black history actually are related.
So I want to give a shout out to those black soldiers. And this is the main reason and problem why the United States does not, in a sense, want black soldiers. Because once we are trained, once we are taught to do a certain thing, we're going to do that thing no matter what. So if we happen to see somebody that is getting wronged, or some things are being done, that there's an injustice or a disservice, those black men are going to be like, oh, I'm trained. I know I got this situation. Let me sit up there and handle this real quick. Right. Or let me sit up there and help them out. And that's what you had a lot of black, as she explained, this is what black soldiers did during the Philippines. And if you were a black soldier and you did this in the Philippines, then guess what? They were going to consider you a problem. They were going to consider you an issue. I would actually think, right, that if one of my soldiers, like let's say if I was like the president of a country, right, and one of my soldiers decided to do something in order to help another group of people, right? You took our training, you took our teachings in order to defend somebody else who, in a sense, needed help. You saw a situation, you did something. I could have sworn that that was the American way. We are supposed to go in and fix a wrong and make it right. That's what they did. But you know what? America was like, nah, we can't be having you do that, John. You're in a sense exiled, right? We're going to figure out the moment in time that we can find you. We're going to actually deal with you, right? Anybody else that wants to happen to do what this black soldier did, or these black soldiers did, I want you guys to know that we're going to make an example out of each and every single one of you, just so that nobody else gets the inkling of the thought process to try to do the right thing in the world. You're not supposed to do that unless we tell you what to do, because we own you. If we train you, we made you. If we made you, we fed you. If we fed you, we clothed you. So if you decide to do anything outside of what daddy government tells you to do, we're going to do more than discipline you. Right? And that's what she said. That's exactly what she said. It's some diabolical work. It's crazy. Crazy. Let me see. Somebody said, what is it like to just whine all the time? I don't know. But I do have a another story that I did just want to happen to bring up, because people want to, talk about whining and crying in my comment section, which is diabolical work, which is you actually complaining and crying to me, which would actually be considered whining, right? We're just going to look at this. We're just going to look at this. We're just going to look at this. Let's just look at this, shall we? What is this? What am I looking? What is? Let me see if I can read this real quick. He said 4 people in Montgomery County were arrested and charged with welfare fraud following a joint investigation by the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office, Criminal Investigation Unit, the Department of Social Services, and the Montgomery County District's Attorney's Office. Joshua King, age 30, was arrested and charged with 2 felony counts of first-degree offering a false instrument for filing and felony third-degree welfare fraud. King was arrested on February 20th, 2025, after he reportedly failed to report all people residing in his home, as well as all income earned within the household. He was processed and released on his own recognizance and provided a return date to appear. They actually trust him to come back to court. That's diabolical, but complexion for the protection. Braylene Cook, age 27, of Amsterdam, was arrested and charged with 3 felony counts of first-degree offering a false instrument for filing and 1 felony third-degree welfare fraud. Cook was arrested on February 25th of 2025 after she reportedly failed to report all people residing in her house, as well as all income earned within the house. She was processed and released on her own recognizance. Wow, it seems to be a theme here. What is that? Lenoska Morales, age 26, of Amsterdam, was arrested February 20th of 2025 and charged with misdemeanor second-degree offering a false instrument for filing and 5th-degree welfare fraud. Morales reportedly failed to report all income earned in the household. Savannah Magria, I probably mispronounced that because I don't know how to roll my R's, age 26, was arrested on February 27th and charged with 1 felony count of first-degree offering a false instrument for filing and 1 felony third-degree welfare fraud. It's diabolical work. That's crazy. It's crazy. How that's able to work. It's diabolical work. Diabolical work. That is indeed crazy. Indeed crazy. Then we also have this one here. I'm just gonna cap this as is. Let me just do a little bit of work here. As I'm doing this, charged for this, right? And we're gonna leave that as is. Like I said, I could just see these things just over and over again, because I understand we got trolls directly in the building, and I oblige, no problem. We control it up as well too. We are directly in here at this moment in time, and we're going to do a little segue. Every now and again, seems like we got another story loaded directly up here. This is diabolical work here, guys. Diabolical. Look at that. Look at that. Indictment outlines charges against 7 people accused of Sam Nordquist's deceasement. Diabolical work. Why would you do that to one of your own people? I don't understand it, right? They said authorities released an indictment Wednesday outlining charges against the 7 people accused of taking the life of Sam and other crimes for the deceasement of Sam Nordquist, right? And this was a transgender man who had his life taken last month while staying in Ontario, County. Authorities state that Nordquist, age 24, of Oakdale, Minnesota, arrived in the area in September and was staying with Precious, age 38, and others at Patty's Lodge on Route 5 and 20 in Hopewell. According to the indictment, the suspects tortured and beat Sam between January 1st and February 2nd. Quote, Sam was confined. He was forced to kneel and stand against the wall. He was physically assaulted. He was assaulted in other ways. He was prevented from using his phone. He was denied proper nutrition and hydration. He was felt defecation. He was forced to drink what he also put out. I have to paraphrase the words. They physically restrained him. They forced him to obey their commands, treating him like a dog. They covered his face with a towel and a shirt and fabric. They used duct tape and other items directly on him. That's crazy work. This diabolical work. That is diabolical work. You got these individuals here, these great individuals here that look nothing like me, that decided to do this to one of their own. Why is that? I'm just trying to figure that out. Just trying to figure that out. You know, it's diabolical work. Because every single time I happen to, cover some videos and some stories, people want to come in, they want to rah, 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 whine, racka, 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 all the time. But I'll point out stories like this, people tend to be mum. People tend not to want to pay attention, especially when it's reflective of them, especially when it's people that are of their community. People find, people want to be silent. And the main thing that I've covered about these stories is that primarily you have individuals that look like this, that go after people in the trans community. I've stated this before. I've tried to point this out. Like I said before, originally, I will point out a lot of things that goes on in everybody's community. But hey, nobody wants to listen. Nobody wants to pay attention. So, we pretty much just leave stories directly to the wayside because people are unappreciative and, people don't want to pay attention. So it is what it is. It is what it is, right? But let's continue with the videos, of course.
I would just urge those who want to have a second forum to keep your eye on the issue here. The issue is that the individuals in these groups do not have Abenaki ancestry. They have great stories.
Who determines that?
Say, because I've actually
Who determines that?
I
Say that.
actually did the genealogies of every single family that they claim in their own documentation.
That's
And there's no Abenaki ancestors. That's it. That's the story. You had a flawed process that recognized people who have no Abenaki ancestry, and now you have individuals who are upset because of that, because there's a possibility that that truth will come out. But that was never part of the process. I have all of the documents. You can access them yourself. This is a serious problem that you've engaged in.
Right. So within that video, you were able to see some very Caucasian Americans being told by one of their own, be like, hey, we did some DNA tests and none of you guys have, Native American ancestry. So we don't know how it is that you're claiming this. We don't know what it is that you're doing. And all of them are sitting there. They were like, oh my God, they're clutching their pearls. Oh my God, I can't believe this. You're saying that I'm not Native American in America? How dare you say this? This is preposterous. I've never heard of such a. No, you did. You did. You just tried to carry on this lie so long because somebody told you far, 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 far away in a whole nother galaxy that, yeah, you were Native American. But the Native American that they're talking about is being a $5 Indian, which means that I'm sorry, not you specifically, right? Because none of your people actually did anything to the Native Americans in 2025. I'm sorry, the you of the earlier days, of the early settlement days of America, right? The Wild Wild West, all of that stuff. You guys decided that in order to actually claim land and to actually have it, you came up with rules and regulations like you normally do, no matter where you step foot when you want to take ownership over something. And you were like, yeah, we know we're not indigenous. We know we're not actually from here. But in order to sell the tale in the story, and in order to actually have this land and claim it, we're just going to say that we are, but we're going to allow people to pay like $5, which was a lot of money back then, in order to be considered Native American. So no matter what state you were in, they had this little rolls or whatever it is where you can do a little bit of paperwork, and pay your money, and now you're Native American, even though we know that you're European. It's crazy work how that works. This is why whenever I happen to read directly from the dictionary, and they specifically said that American pertains to the indigenous copper-colored aboriginals in the United States, that's who it pertains to. Those are the original people of America. So how did it go from aboriginal, indigenous, copper-colored folks to white as snow? I don't know. Somebody has to let me know how. Oh, I forgot chemical warfare, because you guys like to bring, smallpox, blankets, and all of that stuff, things that y'all been perfecting for the longest time possible, because you can't actually get anything honestly. You can't actually win a war just off the cuff. You have to do it some other type of way to allow that to do the work for you, and then you'll just come and sweep things up. Right? Crazy work. Crazy work. It's diabolical. And it's crazy how, again, your own government is specifically telling you, we know that you're not Native American. So I don't know why you're acting surprised. We got the DNA test and the results right here. We already did this. It is what it is. And then y'all want to debate it. Wow, that's crazy. But just imagine for just those people directly up there, just imagine how much money they were getting per month and over the years by stating that they're quote unquote Native American. That's the real reason that they're mad, because it's all attached to money. Like I said before, the dolls rolls and all of that good stuff, it's attached to the land, attached to the money, attached to the government. So whatever the quote unquote indigenous people would normally get, they're able to sit up there and get it. So not only, let's say, would they be able to claim their fake Native American heritage, but then on top of that, they're more than likely getting government assistance. Just think about that. Think about how these people here will be able to double dip. Just saying, just think about that for a brief second. All right. Just saying, it's crazy. I can never do anything like that. I can never sit up there and just get some paperwork and just write down, be like, all right, SEIJI is white, so white privilege. That's not good. The only side of me that's white is my hands. That's all I got. That's it. There's no white privilege here. I can't do it. But racism is accepted wherever true Americans are. Just to throw that in there. Love you guys. So now let's go to the next video.
I love being Black American because don't nobody like us, but we just be in our own little bubble, not giving a fit. We do our trends, everybody copy, and I know like a lot of Black Americans be trying, like they say we should gatekeep. I like the fact that everybody want to be like us, because we just, if I wasn't one of us, I would want to be one of us too. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about y'all don't know where y'all really from. We be telling y'all where we from. I told y'all Birmingham, Alabama, Chicago, Detroit, LA. Duh. That is we descendants of slaves, and we still got flavor. We still got flavor. Oh, y'all have no culture. Come on now. Come on, we are the culture. I mean, personally, I with all Black people. I don't give a where you from. But the fact that month with us is crazy to me, because I never realized until I got on this clock app. And then every time y'all try to come for us, y'all get ate up. That's the thing, because that's the culture. Like, you can't out eat us. Like, every single time y'all try to, you make a video loud and confident, they get ate right the fuck every single time. I have yet to see them come for us and actually eat.
Yeah, there's bars. So she's pretty much, in a sense, talking on everybody that
If you
rose directly up and they want to speak about Black Americans online, because the main thing that I've specifically stated on content for the longest time possible is that from people from all over, it doesn't matter where they are in the world, everybody has an opinion on Black Americans, and a lot of these people have never ever actually come face to face in contact with Black Americans, but because of social media and because of the views and the opinions of other people, everybody want to have an opinion, right? And it's always negative. But then the same people want to have a negative opinion, such as the true Americans, the white Americans out here. There's so many weddings that I've watched of white Americans, and the main music that I happen to hear getting played is rap. I'm like, how does that work? I'm like, y'all listening to R&B, y'all listening to rap, y'all dancing into all. I'm like, shouldn't y'all be listening to like I am a real American, fight for my. Shouldn't y'all be dancing to that? Shouldn't y'all be jamming to that? Shout out to Hulk Hogan. I'm racist to a point. Shout out to Hulk Hogan for being honest. Unlike a lot of true Americans out here, shouldn't y'all be dancing to that? Y'all should be anything that's an American song. Y'all should be dancing to. Y'all shouldn't be dancing to rap. I'm just going to be real. It doesn't make sense because you said that everything that black people do is negative, right? You say that we add nothing positive. We don't do this. We don't do that. So why would I be able to happen upon your videos that you post on TikTok, IG, YouTube, and so on and so on and so on? You guys are dancing into rap and R&B. It's crazy work. The other crazy part is it was just a video that I watched on Twitter where you had two Caucasian women who are singers, right? And they were singing SVW. And I was like, oh, I'm like, that's what we doing. I'm like, who was it? They had JoJo and Tori Kelly, two women. I don't even really know who they are, but they're white artists. But I know who SWV is. I said SVW. I said it in reverse, but I know who SWV is, right? And it's crazy to me looking at them singing those songs. I'm like, that was like 90s era, R&B, that type of deal. It was like love and all. Again, dealing with, black people, right? Us just staying to ourselves, us singing to ourselves, right? Validating, loving, doing all of that stuff, irregardless of whatever it is that other people like to say. Because again, the only thing that people can speak of is negativity. And they opt never to actually speak on the positive things that black Americans do and have added directly to the country or the world. They don't know how to actually see that. They can see the positivity in other groups of people, and especially themselves. But again, the world is like, nah, black Americans don't do anything positive. Y'all don't add anything. Y'all don't move anything. This is that and the third. All, like I said, it's crazy work out here. Crazy. The most hated, but the most copied. It's crazy work. It is crazy work. Thank you, Ty SWV. Thank you. Because yeah, when I'm directly speaking, a lot of times things get stated backwards. It's crazy. But like I said, it's crazy. You said judge by the content of your character, not the content of your skin color. Yet people can't let people be people. It's not about race. I don't know what to tell you. Everything is if you're not running, which is a race, then it's going to be about somebody's color, nationality, whatnot, or whatever. This is the one thing I'm tired of. I'm tired of if you are American, white American specifically, and you like to tell black people it's not about race. How was this country started? If I can look and I can read from your own books, again, I'm black American. I didn't write, the dictionary that I have from like 18, whatever. I didn't write it. But within that book, if it states that the original terminology for American is for the indigenous, aboriginal, copper colored people. We're obviously dealing with race because we know you're not copper colored. We know that you're not brown or anything like that. We know that you're as white as snow. You come from the great snows of the European mountains, the Caucasus. You come from all of that, right? No problem. It's cool. Everybody got their origin. Some people are more ashamed than others. And other people embrace. Black Americans, we pretty much embrace everything that we got, the good, bad, and ugly. Everybody else, like Europeans, they never happen to bring up the Caucasus Mountains for obvious reasons. It's diabolical work. It's crazy. But like I said, if you're going to be proud to be white, you need to be proud of where it is that you originated from. But what I'm saying is, it's always been about race. I didn't make the rules. I just live within them. That's the best that I got for you. So it's crazy for me that the same people who made the rules initially are the same ones trying to tell everybody else, stop focusing on race. You've been able to sit up there and profit. You've been able to sit up there and vilify. You've been able to sit up there and create laws, rules, and regulations and all of these great circles of things that your people can grow directly from by having other people under your thumb, under your foot. And now you're like, oh, we're profiting enough. Everybody, hey, let's not focus on race anymore. We're all equal. We're all God's children. We're all one. We all bleed the same. Really? Really? Yo, that's crazy. That's some diabolical work. That is some diabolical work. Oh man, I love it though. I love it though. It's some crazy work though. Crazy work. It's not about race, but I can list some laws and rules and regulations that y'all had that specifically pertain to race. I could actually show you pictures from what the 1950s and 60s that have to do with race. And the reason why I can list the 1950s and 60s is because a lot of those people that were in the 50s and 60s are still alive to this day. Because I see them just like they see me. But again, you guys like to say the past is the past, right? Whenever history starts catching up, this is when you want to, try to give yourself a little bit of room, a little bit of leeway. So it's getting a little bit too close. Hey, the past is the past, guys. All of this stuff was so long ago. Let's not focus on that. Let's focus on 2020. And this is because you guys are not like really athletic like that. So when I happen to talk about race, now I'm actually talking about running because of the lack of sprinting you guys have and how it is that you can't actually outrun the history of which and the narratives of which you've created, and it's starting to catch up with you. You got to figure out something. Somehow, some way, you got to devise a way in order to run away from it. It's crazy. This is why you guys like the Flash, aka Barry Allen, the fastest man in the world, right? Magically, a Caucasian man is the fastest out of the whole. That's diabolical. The only place where you can be the fastest is in the comic book. That's crazy. That's crazy because last time I checked, shout out to what was it, Jamaica? Usain Bolt. He was beating everybody. It don't matter who you put against. He was beating everybody. And that dude don't look nothing like any Europeans I've ever seen. Just saying. I'm just saying. Can only be fast in comic books, but it is what it is. Shout out to Wally West. Shout out to Wally. But let's continue.
Genuine question, so don't get mad at me because I really want to know. Why do white gay people immediately after coming out act like the opposite gender but black? Billie Eilish came out and immediately started acting like a black guy. And a lot of other like masculine lesbian women will do that. But it's weird because it's always this like caricature of how they think a black guy would act. Like do-rag, wife beater, masculine, lower their voice, walk around like a thug. Isn't that a little racist? Am I going crazy or is that racist? Same thing with like white gay men acting like black women and they immediately put on an accent and start like wearing long acrylic nails and putting hoops in their ears. Like that's a stereotype. You're just stereotyping. Why are you acting like a black woman from like Atlanta when you live in Maine? Both your parents are dentists that make over $200,000 a year, and you're over here like, girls don't do it. Why do you talk like that? Why do you talk like that? I feel like that's also racist, but I can't tell because I'm not gay or black. So I want someone to tell me like, what is going on there? Why do they do that? I'm genuinely curious. Like, please don't take this as me trying to make fun of anyone. I actually want to know why they do that.
He brings up a very, very valid point, and I have seen this all over social media. Especially let's say like the Vines, the TikToks, the YouTubes, and different things like that, where I will see those exact same white men and they're acting as if they are the stereotypical black woman from the hood. And I'm like, this just shows you the perception that white people have of black people, where instead of you trying to you want to in a sense emulate a woman, you're not going to emulate the positive characteristics of a black woman. You're going to take the most negative stereotype that has been used, right, and you're going to position that as the ideal choice. I'm like, how does that work? I'm like, so you're not going to model yourself after the white women in your community? You're not gonna try to like take that on. You're going to try to take on something of another group of people which you've never been a part of at all. That's this is called an identity crisis. This is what a identity crisis looks like. I have yet to actually see a white male of that community act like a white woman of that community. I have yet to see it, because even when I look at them fully emulating a woman, when it deals with like the hair, the nails, and everything, it still is like the aesthetics of black women. You can go from like the poses, you can do the whatever it is. It's still the exact same. And I'm like, so you don't have women of your community of which that you can emulate, that you quote unquote look up to or idolize or whatever it is. You know how many of these white guys love Nicki Minaj and Cardi B? Well, let me just stick it to one, which is more easier, which is Nicki Minaj. You know how many of those guys love Nicki Minaj? And they dress up just like her. They'll sit up there and have on the wig. They'll have the lipstick. They'll buy the dress and the shoes. And I'm like, so what happened to the women of your community? What happened to your sisters? What happened to your mothers? What happened to your aunts? Your grand? Like you don't want to dress up like none of them. You don't want to take none of that on, even vocally. You just want to be, transracial. Rachel Doge and all like that. That's what we're doing out here. That's crazy. That's diabolical. That is some diabolical work right there. That's crazy. JB said, I disagree, bro. Hey, it is what it is. We agree to disagree. I'm literally listening to somebody from his own European community, watching the men in his community act a certain type of way. Hey, it is what it is. I don't know. You said they act like white women. Trust me. What I'm saying, what I'm trying to tell you is and again, I'm probably, dare I say, probably on social media more than a lot of people that are in the comment section at this moment in time, right? Because again, you guys have lives. You guys have the, work and all of the stuff that, you in a sense do, right? This is what I do. Right? This is what content creators do. So content creators are going to be on social media more. We're going to consume a lot more of this. So when I tell you that this is what I look at on TikTok, this is what I look at on IG, this is what I looked at on X, on YouTube, and so on. Like I said, a multitude of platforms. I don't know what else to sit up there and tell you. Better yet, there's even blog sites of more than which you may not be privy to that I've showcased before, and these conversations have been had. And then not even just that, but we can also go into the whole era of how a lot of Caucasian Americans who don't like black people will use the images of black people in order to try to convey a point on a topic or use a meme, things like that, which is, again, that's a little bit crazy within itself, because if you don't like a certain group of people, then you would not want to associate anything that you're talking about with those people. You wouldn't even want to use the image of said people, but here we are. And then this is also the same person that brought up the fact that specifically in this community, the exact same people who want to emulate black women also do not like black women as well. And they also tend to, in certain instances, think that they are better than black women as well. So when I happen to bring this up and I mention this, there's a multitude of reasons in history of why it is that I'm talking specifically, about this, just saying. H said, you're yapping about nothing. I mean, if it's nothing, then you wouldn't actually be able to have an opinion. So you have an opinion about nothing? That makes no sense. You seem and sound kind of stupid. I'm just, or maybe it's just me. How can you have an opinion about nothing? This isn't Seinfeld. This is not the show about nothing. So again, it literally, it makes no sense. If this was really about nothing, then it wouldn't have kept your attention for past 5 seconds, dummy. But shout out to you. Much love. You said it's just me, but yet you're still here. So obviously you love attention. Just saying. Because I didn't call or send directly for you. So, it is what it is. It is what it is. But like I said, I love you guys. Thank you guys. You guys could be you could be on any other channel. You could be watching MSNBC, Fox News. You could be watching Joe Rogan. You could be watching like any type of far right or whatever podcast. You could be anywhere else, but you decide to be here with me. Thank you. And make sure you stay directly through those advertisements too. Thank you. Let's go to the next video, because this is matter of fact, I thank you, H. The next time I do a live stream, I'm going to list that live stream as a live stream about nothing. I got you. No problem. I got you. That's gonna be dedicated to you, brother.
How much is it? How much is that? How much is it? 29.68. Huh.
That man is mad. Let me tell you
How
something.
much is that? Why are you not talking? Open your hand. No, open your hand. Open your hand. No, open your hand.
I'm too what because.
How much? Here, how much?
It's 27, huh?
28. Here, 29.
Huh. Why are you shaking your head for?
So that was actually like a typo. So the main reason I wanted to bring this up, this is something that I've talked about before. Right. And I'm a person that has worked customer service. I'm also a person that also orders as well. And normally, no matter who I order from, I try to at least tip fairly decent, at least, at like bare minimum, $10, right? Because those people this is their job, this is what they just so happen to do, and I'm lazy, and instead of me going to walk or drive or wherever it is that the restaurant is, or better yet cooking at home, I'm depending on these people to basically bring my food directly to me, and they don't have to, right? So it's crazy to me when I happen to see people that want to have these debates online about tipping or ordering out and all this other type of stuff. And the primary thing that I would sit up there and tell people, like, if you're able to afford an order, you should also be able to afford to tip. If you can't afford to tip, then don't order out, go to the grocery store and cook your food, cook at home. And it's crazy that when you bring up that opinion, that a lot of people want to actually get mad directly at you. I'm like, no, it's like, I can admit that I'm lazy at times where I don't feel like cooking. Maybe I've been cooking throughout the whole week. Or maybe I do have something I want to cook, but I would rather have something just already cooked because, again, being lazy, I'm like, I just want something easy that's going to be right there. So there you go. So if I'm going to do that, like, it doesn't matter if I order directly from Uber Eats, Domino's, whatever it is, at least bare minimum, I'm going to sit up there and give those people at least like $10 because you're doing something that I should be able to do directly for myself. Right? Both ways. Number one, I should be able to drive or take an Uber or whatever and go pick up my food to and from. Or better yet, I should just be able to go to the grocery store, use a little bit of money, go to the grocery store and meal prep throughout the week. Right? But again, most people are lazy and most people are not going to sit up there and meal prep. I'm one of those people, again, being transparent and honest, I'm not meal prepping. I go by the seat of my pants when it deals with what am I going to eat today? Just like today, I don't know what I'm going to eat, but I'll figure out something. So, like I said, that's all I'm saying, right? And like I said, that's the reason I wanted to bring that up because the dude gave him literally the exact change on an order, and that's why the old man was shaking his head. It was like, "Yo, word." So you're going to give the exact money for the order, but you're not going to sit up there and tip because the dude, delivered your. That's crazy to me. That's some diabolical work. That dude was look at man. That man had the pose. Hold on. Look at that. That man hit him with the pose. He's like, yo, brother, help me out. He said, man, he had the stance. He was sure of himself. He knew. He was like, yo, I did my thing. I'm old. That dude, I want to say, looking at him, he probably maybe in his 60s, right? Maybe like 50s, maybe 60s. And this dude is still doing delivery. Shout out and respect to that man. Shout out, much love and respect to all the elders directly out there that's moving about, on their own. They don't need a cane or anything like that to walk. They are still mentally sound. Their legs and everything still work. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to, still wanting to go out there and do a little bit, of something. Because again, y'all don't have to. But again, like I said before, people should be able, if you can afford the order, you can afford the tip. If you can't afford the tip, don't order. That's all I'm saying. And again, somebody who worked customer service and somebody who also orders. So again, being transparent. Jeremy Bailey said, I deliver for Uber and most people only want to tip $1. What? How? Wait. Only want to tip $1 and want me to drive 15 miles for $3. We need at least $1 a mile to cover gas. Yeah, and that's why, because I have a little bit of an understanding. This is why I'm like, all right, I can at least sit up there and do 10. Now, one of my other guys who was what was the brother name? Jesus. And I had mentioned him on a lot of these live streams before, but that was like way during like the the pandemic and everything. And when I would sit up there and order breakfast, some of y'all who have been here long enough, if Tippy or whatnot are here, I would sit up there and have Dunkin' Donuts, and I would eat directly on stream and everything while we're just sitting up there talking and whatnot. And the brother was dope. He would sit up there and the order would be there on time. He was like, yo, as soon as I saw your name, it was like, yo, I just canceled the other order and I just sat up there and took your order, went to Dunkin' Donuts and came there. And that was all off of the fact of how it is that I had tipped him. Right, because during that time, like the pandemic and everything, like people were going through a lot of, different things. And I felt that, because I'm able to, in a sense, do what it is that I do. I wanted to sit up there and be able to, bless somebody else. I wanted, to be able to give, to, somebody else. So I gave, in a sense, a larger tip than, the normal. And the dude was just, he was dope. It got to the point where I could hear like his voice cracking, and I just had to like interject because I didn't want him to like start crying because I wasn't looking for like any of that. I'm just like, yo, I'm blessed to do what it is that I do. So this is my way of giving a little bit of something to other people, because a lot of people that work Uber, like they got ordinary lives, they got families, they got kids, and that brother had kids. He had a little daughter, and I think he was also doing school or whatnot as well and whatnot. But yeah, dope. That was he's a dope young man. Let me tell you, very dope. And anytime I ordered, my order would be, I kid you not, my order would be there ahead of time. I don't know if he might have been like speeding directly to get to the house, but that order was on time more than any other delivery that I've ever had to my place. So like I said, shout out to that man. Shout out to that man. That's why I sit up there and say that things, just something that you may not consider a big deal can be big to somebody else, because you never know what you doing that could potentially do for somebody else. Like I've had other delivery drivers, because y'all know that, well, for some of y'all here, I sit up there and order, Domino's from time to time. And I've had them sit up there and tell me, like, yo, man, thank you for, for the tip and even tipping, because a lot of people don't. And I'm like, how is that possible? I'm like, how is it possible for a lot of people out here to order food or to order the amounts that they order and not even like tip? Like, that's crazy to me. Like I said, for me, I just don't understand it. And then I try to go by the other method of, treat people how you want to be treated. So if I happen to, do delivery at a moment in time, like I would hope, that people would be like, hey, let me, throw something his way, or, or whatnot or whatever. Like I said, I would hope. Not saying that it's a guarantee or that, whatnot or whatever. Just, throwing it out there. Commissioner Crispy said DoorDash/Uber Eats exploits its drivers. Don't use them. Evil companies should fold. Tip your delivery drivers cash. Well, this is the thing that I will sit up there and tell you. I do both, either Uber or if it's a mom and pop place, if they have delivery. If they don't, then there's nothing I can specifically do about that. The cash part, I do 100% agree. Because again, if you're doing the tip directly through the app, we don't know. We can only hope that it's going directly to them. But by having the conversations with the young man Jesus, I'm guessing that the tips were going directly, to him, right? So I can only go by that situation of, having a conversation, with a person working Uber, that I was able to consistently, I'm talking about on a weekly basis, at times, having conversations. Sometimes it would be daily, because Dunkin' Donuts would be the daily thing. We would have the live streams, and I would have Dunkin' Donuts directly up there, and I would tell everybody else, like, yo, it's breakfast time. Like, y'all need to go fix something, go get something to eat. I can't be the only person, directly up here eating. What was the other thing? Oh, Dr. Sharon, what is up? What is up? You said, Seji, I must go. Your discussions about videos are worthy. Much love, respect, and appreciation. I did see somebody earlier that said that, what was it? Seinfeld was something back in the day. I didn't say this, Seinfeld was a bad show. I was just, sitting up there saying, again, I watched a lot of these shows. I watched Seinfeld. I watched, Frasier and a lot of other stuff. And this was, at a young age. So yeah, the Upward Bound said, quit patronizing people that hate us. I mean, that's another fact as well. But I will add on to what you stated. You're not wrong, but I will add on the other fact, right? If we are to stop patronizing those who, in a sense, don't like us or hate us, then that means that we should stop patronizing the United States. But we do, right? We got to pay a mortgage. We got to pay rent. We got to pay car insurance. We got to pay for our tags. We got to pay taxes. We got to work jobs, right? We're patronizing those who have a disdain or a hatred for us. And we know this historically, right? Irregardless on how people want to sit up here and say that the past is the past. It's the past for them, not everybody else, right? So, it's a gray area. That's the best way I can sit up there and put it to a lot of people. It's, in a sense, it's a very, very gray area, right? Thaddeus, what is up? You said they don't tip in other countries. I mean, that's cool. I've heard of that too. Tipping culture is an American thing. Because good service is pretty much expected, when you go to other places around the world, right? You're getting paid to do your job, right? And I get that. And I'm pretty sure, now I have not specifically done my research, but I would almost want to say that more than likely the waiters at those restaurants may be getting a more competitive or a fairer wage while they're working, right? Versus the American waiters and waitresses directly out here. Realistically, it's like a lot of the money that they get paid, it's almost like something from like the 50s or something, like the 50s, 40s, and so on and so on. Like, you don't have waitresses and waiters out here waiting on tables making like 15, 20. That's more so normal jobs. That's more so what you would see at like a Whole Foods or any other place. Starting off, technically Whole Foods might be a little bit higher. I think you might be able to get about 17 potentially, depending on what's going on. But yeah, just saying. I mean, yeah, he got the b-boy stance on. Dan said, I don't eat out much or order in, so when I do, it feels good to tip big and help someone else. Yeah, that like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, it's a positive thing. And like I said before, the whole thing that, in a sense, the world is missing is positive energy. Everybody wants to throw out negative energy 9 times out of 10 because it's the easiest thing to do, and it doesn't take a lot of effort. Right? I mean, realistically, positive energy doesn't take effort either, unless you're not a positive person. Then I understand. Positive things are, in a sense, very difficult for you to do because you're not a positive person. You don't really got that light directly in you. I got it. Good. Right? But yeah, being able to help somebody else out is dope. I can't explain it any other, way other than that. Like, it's a very great thing to do. Dale said the last time I ate out was on my birthday 3 months ago. Happy belated birthday. You said I ordered $100 worth of food and spirits. I know the workers well and gave a tip. That's dope. That is dope. That is dope. And also, again, much love and respect and appreciation to any of you guys that's working Uber Eats and any of the other delivery services out there. And even if it's not Uber Eats, if it's just at a local mom and pop or whatever it is, shout out to y'all. Much love, respect, and appreciation. Because I know that I'm lazy at times and I don't feel like cooking like most people here. You guys do the heavy lifting directly for us. Shout out to y'all. Like I said, because without y'all, a lot of food I just would not have gotten. I'm going to be honest. A lot of food I just would not have gotten. I would have went back to my normal meal prep of, salmon and rice throughout. How many pieces of salmon I would normally have is about like enough for about like a week or two. And I would just, eat that and not order anything out. It would just be, the salmon, the rice, water. Or as Gail would like to say, the L is silent and it's salmon. It's like I just, I pronounce L's. So, just saying. What else we got here? Again, much love, respect, and appreciation. Crispy said, cancel my subscription. Haven't used them in years. Hungry enough to pay premiums for delivery. Hungry enough to make your own or go to the restaurant. I mean, that's all true. I mean, that's all true. It depends on the road that people want to, take. And, it is what it is. What is that? Because I hate to butcher names. So I'm going to go with the last four. So Waba, much love, respect, and appreciation, said we gave a $50 tip one time. That's dope. That is very dope. And I also want to speak on something else when it deals with the tipping culture, right? Something that is quite jacked up in the restaurants. I've seen some workers who are really busting their butts, because again, I got to paraphrase because of YouTube, and they're working very hard. They're being very diligent. They're going to from, maybe they're working like, 5 or 7 tables or whatnot, or whatever it is, right? And one table will sit up there and give them, let's say, like a $200 tip because they realize how tough it is. They realize how much work they're doing, and they're being kind, courteous. They always got a smile on their face. The voice is always, pleasant, right? All of these things play into customer service and how the customer perceives the service that they are getting from whatever waiter or waitress is serving their table. The craziest part that I learned years ago is that in certain restaurants, they force the workers to get all the tips together, and then they split the tips with everybody. I'm like, that's unfair. Like that is respectfully, that is unfair, because you have a lot of people who are in customer service that care nothing about the customer. They only care about the paycheck at the end of the day. And I'm like, you know that you're slacking off. You know that you're doing half a job. Why do you deserve half of a tip from somebody else? Like, that's crazy to me. That's 100% crazy, because if you really wanted that tip, then you would be working just as hard, if not more, than the person who originally got that large tip. Like, that's crazy to me. That's like, in a sense, hearing the fact of women who are exotic dancers, again, paraphrasing, and on the nights that they're, in a sense, working, all of the dancers have to get together at the end of the club in a shift, and they all put their money into one big pile, and they have to sit up there and split that with everybody. I'm like, that's crazy. That's some diabolical work. Now, again, this is just me using that as an example. I'm not, of course, directly in, that around that world or anything like that. So maybe that might be a thing, maybe it might not. But from all the videos that I've been able to see of women online, especially on X, where they've pulled in, they show the weekly monies that they get. And I'm talking about, in some instances, some women would end up pulling out, let's say, a few $100s, right? Let's say about like 8, 9, right? If it might have been some type of weekday. But then on other days, you might see that go upwards to about like 3. And then other days, they might be pulling out, 10 to 15 plus, right? The money varies. And also the popularity of, the woman, it varies, as well too. But yeah, like I said before, crazy work. Crazy work. Yo, Shan, what is up? What is up? You said, I've been dog sick and I'm the cook in the house, so we got to order groceries and order out. I always factor the tip in the budget. If I make plans to tip, if I make plans, tipping is in that plan, so I don't come up short. That's bars. That's how you do it. That's one of the main things that I told people, a while ago when it dealt with preparing for certain things, even when it deals with finances, from month to month. You pretty much know if you got a consistent everyday 9 to 5, you know what it is that you're going to make every 2 weeks. So pretty much every month, you know what every check is going to look like. So you add up what that is, and then you add up your monthly bills, and then so on and so on and so on, and stuff like that. So yeah, yep. Waba said, yeah, I was told the tip is added to the order, right? Ready or Not said, I drove for Domino's for 2 years prior to the pandemic and 2 years after the pandemic. There were drastic differences from across the board. People who ordered Domino's tipped like ish. Let me tell you, I am not one of those people. I can sit up there and tell you that. Now, if it gets times, when some things are a little bit tough and I can't sit up and give out the same tip, it's like, all right, I got you, at least like $8. Right. It might not be close to, the exact 10 or whatnot, whatever, but I got you, like $8, or try to at least get directly up there. I don't know. It's like for me, I feel bad when I can't, even if things might be tight, I feel bad that I can't do what it is that, I would normally do. But again, that's just, a me thing. Right. I don't know. I guess, sometimes I overthink stuff. Dale said, I like to go out to eat to restaurants. It gives me a unique experience. Yeah, it does. It does. You get to, socialize and, and do, all of those things and whatnot, get fresh air. What do we got? Waba said, do you remember Time Traveler TV show, bro? No, I don't. Maybe I do, or maybe I don't. I'm not sure. I can't specifically tell you. It sounds a little bit familiar, but I'm not too certain. Tyrone, what is up? Said tips aren't added to most orders. That's the excuse people use that don't like tipping. No, well, I get what you're not wrong, but I get what it is that you're saying. But I've also seen where on bills at restaurants, they'll say that the tip is added into the order. So let's say if you go out, what is the restaurant called? Y'all know what I'm talking about. You go to an Asian restaurant and you happen to sit the table and they have the little area where they cook the food directly in front of you, right? And there's like a nice party of people, maybe like 5-7 people or whatever it is. Usually when it's groups, even if it might be like 3 or 4 people, certain restaurants would be like the tip is automatically, the gratuity is added directly into whatever it is. So the bill is going to be a lot higher than what it normally is. And what usually takes place and happens is that even with that being the case of it being in there, I'm still giving a tip. Like a tip is still going to sit up there and happen because just because the restaurant tells me that it's getting added doesn't mean that it's actually getting added. That could just be a way for them to swindle money directly, out of people. So, give that directly to them. Realistically, for me, I would actually like it if a lot of people who worked in these restaurants had cash apps. Like, I would really love it if the restaurant workers had a cash app tag directly on their shirt, so that you'll know it's like if you really want to give somebody a very nice type of tip at a restaurant because they did a very great excellent job, it's like, hey, here's $300, but I don't want to give it to you by way of the restaurant. I want to specifically give it and put it into your bank account, because I've covered stories before dealing with customer service where individuals, a manager specifically told somebody that, hey, you can't keep that tip. I think they might have called the police on them and tried to say that they stole, which they didn't. Like some crazy work. And then you have managers that also took portions of that that waitress or waiter's tip. Like I said, the restaurant business is crazy out here. It is crazy. It is crazy. You said John Oliver just did a show on tipping. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, if he's talking about Quantum Leap, then yeah, I know what he's talking about. T said Seinfeld would have been a better show without him. You talking about without Jerry or Kramer? Because if some of y'all were here during that time, I did a live stream. I think it should have been a live stream or a video talking about Kramer and how it is that he went on that rant. And after that rant, you never saw that man ever. Like, he was just done. He was just done. And I'm like, you know what? It's whatever. Went directly on the rant, just, went directly off. It was crazy. Yeah, it was crazy. I'm like, man, I was laughing because I was like, this man has really lost it. He's really lost it. Man. D Money said racism is responsible for tipping culture. Yeah. I showcased a video talking about the tipping culture and how it was started, and how it dealt with the black servers and whatnot at restaurants and all of that good stuff. So you are correct. Yo, Rabbit, what is up? You said non-blacks don't want to be treated like black people, yet they want to be tipped, which has condescending anti-black origins. You said $2.30 for a waitress. Wait. Oh, you talk about that's how much they. Wow. So what? $2.30 an hour? Yo, that's crazy. That is diabolical. Jesus, that is crazy. Nicole said they should be deported, not flee to countries, paid, and then combined. Oh, okay. They're talking about the front part of the video. I got you. Mr. Walker said a lot of gig workers are lazy as F and only want higher tips, won't try to get another job or another stream of income. They bring you cold food and want high tips. Yeah. I've had some people that just didn't care. I've had that happen. He said depending on where they work, they may have a shared tip. Yep. Waba said I leave the change at the gas station if I could too. Yeah, it used to be a point in time where you had tip jars at a lot of different establishments, but then you had ignorant people that just wanted to, start stealing from the tip jar. And then they had to start putting lids on the tip jars, which is crazy because people just lack common sense. And then once they started putting lids, now people just run off with the full tip jars. So now we don't have tip jars. You just can't have nice things. You can't even have the little thing where you would have pennies or dimes or whatever just sitting there, because sometimes that will come in clutch, right? Maybe you might be a few cents off and there might be about 25 pennies there. Like maybe you need 10 cents. Bam, you just take it from the what's the name and you just give it directly to the cashier or the person at the at the register. But now you can't do that no more because people just want to steal and run off with stuff. It's crazy. Diabolical. What? How do you say pico de gallo? I think that's how you say it, right? Pico de gallo. Again, I don't really speak Spanish, so at all. So I don't know what to tell people. I might have said that incorrectly. I don't happen to roll, certain things or say it with the correct pronunciation. I just say it as American. That's all I got. Sham said George Webb's makes them share tips, but the waitresses do make half of minimum wage, though I think that is messed up and they have to pay taxes on those tips. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. I couldn't buy a tip when I was a dishwasher, but I still made sure to wash the dishes, right? The funniest thing is I technically wanted to be a dishwasher. Because for me, I feel like washing dishes is actually like, soothing. But then I realized I'm like, how you wash dishes in a restaurant is not the same way that you will wash them directly at home. So you're not going to be able to just like, kind of take your time. You're going to have to like really just like scrub and work and just move it, put it through the conveyor belt and all that other type of stuff, things of that nature. But I think I would be able to actually listen to like some headphones or whatnot or whatever. But, like I said, D Money said some clubs do split tips too. Man, that's crazy. T said I was about to mention the dancers. Yeah. That was one of the first people that came directly to mind. One of the first people. Porter said someone has to. He doesn't have the capacity to be the president. Let me see. I mean, thank you, D Money Hibachi. Thank you, because this is why I love doing live commentary. Because for the life of me, sometimes when I want to say certain things, I can't specifically think of the specific name. So I'm like, all right, I'm just going to skip over it. I'm just going to mentally rewrite what it is, what I was going to state, and then do it from there. So yeah, shout out to y'all. Shout out, what was that? D Money, Bushido. Thank you. You went deeper. You said Benihana. You know the funniest thing is, I never went to Benihana at the and I'm talking about, this is like back in Detroit, right? If anybody, from Detroit, Fairlane Mall. Correct me if I'm wrong, it's been a while, right? But you should have Fairlane Mall, and then technically in one of the entrances to Fairlane, you should have Benihana. I remember that was like the hottest thing when that first opened up. You could not get a spot at that place. It was like everybody was coming to eat there. And I was like, that is crazy. And then that's when, me and my friends, shout out to Royal Oak. That's when we started going to Royal Oak, and, we went out to Little Tree. That was the main restaurant, that we would go to go eat. They had, the nice little booth seats and, and all of those things. And they had the bar directly in there. Crazy stuff. I remember sitting up there, eating at one point in time. And, like I told you guys before, funny story, right? I remember eating at that restaurant. I'm not sure if it might be still there, because a lot of these places do remodeling or they go out of business, right? But there was a restaurant called Little Tree, and I remember specifically going out there to eat. And the moment in time that, I ate and, with friends and everything, for whatever reason, because there was a large sum of sushi that got ordered, I saw it was some waiter. I guess that might have been like the manager of the waiters or something. And then you had this dude in a suit, who I'm guessing maybe like the owner or whatnot or whatever. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, the sushi platter comes, directly out and everything. And it's a beautiful platter of a variety of different types of sushi. And you already know on this channel, if you've seen me before, I can eat. And again, I'm not somebody that's like 300 pounds or anything like that, right? I actually I'm light in comparison to what people actually think. But I was sitting up there eating. I'm like, this is just the weirdest, oddest feeling of having somebody, in a sense, watch me eat food. Because I'm like, I'm not sure if they specifically thought that people were going to like run out or whatnot or whatever. Because I'm the type of person, I'm like, dog, I'm not about to run. It's like, here, take your money. Like, there you go. It's like, I just want to, I just want to be out. I just want to, eat and do stuff like that. So this is why I sit up there and tell you guys stories before of why it is that I happen to order in a lot more times than actually going to restaurants, because I've gone through different instances where I just want to be out, just socialize, be amongst people and everything. And I just want to enjoy myself. But, can't sit up there and do that because, they may think that, oh, they order all this food, they're going to run off and da. I'm like, dog, more like food is, for me, food is important. I'm a food type of person, or some people like to say a foodie. It's like, nah, I ain't about that life. If you can cook, you got a good restaurant, I am there. You have an automatic customer. I'm either going to come there to eat, or I'm going to sit up there and order, or do both. It doesn't even matter. It's going to, sit up there and happen. But the moment in time that it gets to a point where you're making me feel uncomfortable, it's like, I'm out. Deuces. You have now just, lost a customer after I've already spent, whatever, amounts of money directly there. Like I told people before, it only takes one. Shout out to Spider-Man on Family Guy. Everybody deserves one. That's all it takes. that is all it takes, But yeah, it's crazy. It is crazy. Yo, what is up, Tippy? We got Tippy in the building. Coming in at 4:11, being all late as normal. Random said, yo, can I get $1? This man right here. Crazy work. Ty said, down here, well, I'll put it to you like this, random. If you were actually delivering my food, you could obviously get a tip, but I'm not ordering any food. So, shout out to you, Ty said, down here, when I applied to a restaurant, they wanted me to be a runner for $2.50, even though I'm a chef. That's crazy. Like, yeah, nah. You should be getting paid chef money. You're a chef, you know how to cook, you can, cook it up on the stove. Look at the flick of the wrist, you can do all of that. Yeah, you should just be getting, chef money. You shouldn't be getting no 250. That's crazy to me. That's diabolical. Sham said, I hate when the waiters think I won't tip because I'm black. They give me the worst service. I tip still, but I hate the tips because of people. This is why I don't, like I said before, because of a lot of things that I have seen and witnessed, this is why I don't, tend to go out a lot to restaurants, because people got certain mentalities, or people might be having an off day or a bad day or whatever it is. Like I said, it's a variety of things that happen, and as I told people before, technically in some instances it's a lot safer just eating at home. I'm just being real. um I don't care how boring that sounds. Sometimes it's just a lot simpler and easier just to eat at home. You don't got to worry about nothing. It's you, your place, and whatever's in your place, and then you can just decide to watch the news, some Netflix, you can watch some YouTube, whatever it is. You can just do it. For me, I'll sit up there, and depending on the live stream, I'm sitting up here eating while I'm talking to y'all, right? Or I watch catch up on some anime or something like that. Or some of y'all will clearly see me on Xbox. I might just be relaxing and playing some Monster Hunter or something. Or right now, Mecha Break is out right now. I'll sit up there and do that and eat, depending on what it is. If it's let's say sushi, or if it's some type of like handheld food, I'll do that. You know. T said 250 now, and you can buy Ford Fiesta. LOL. Oh man. T said, give me bad service and you won't get tipped. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Rabbit said, I'm too clumsy with cash. I often lose it, so I tend to tip online. I often get a thank you, so I assume the online tip goes to the delivery person's personality. Yeah, that's the same thing I did. There was a place that I would order from, and I would order from them religiously. I kid you not, religiously. And they would, write my name directly on the bag with like a smiley face. Certain instances, they might give me extra stuff, or just whatever. It could be like some peppermints, or maybe like some extra fries or something like that. And I'm like, yo, this is dope. I'm like, these people are, some very, dope people. Like I said, shout out to, the food trucks, and shout out to the mom and pop shops, all of that. Like I said, you guys are needed. You guys are loved. You guys are respected. Well, at least by me, right? At least by me. Ty says you be fumbling over his words like he be fumbling in games. That's crazy. It's diabolical work. Diabolical. You should see me in that Mecha Break. Ty, how about this, Ty? Download Mecha Break, buddy. Download. I think Tippy could download Mecha Break if she got space. I don't know what it would be on PlayStation though, but I know you can do cross. It should be cross platform, I want to say. But yeah, anybody that got me on Xbox, download that Mecha Break. Type in Mecha Break demo, and you should see it listed up there for free. It's going to be up there for a while, and we can play some Mecha Break. We can do that. We can do that. Crispy said, worked dishwashing in a short order restaurant when I was in high school and hated it. Never went back. New respect for service workers and wait staff acquired early. Hey, at least you did it though. Like I said, that I respect that. You went out there and you did it, and you tried it out, and you was like, yeah, this ain't for me. He was like, I ain't built for this. I'm about to go find something else to sit up there and do. I get it. Trust me, I get it. Tippy said, I never been either. Oh, you talking about to Benny Hanna? Yeah. Chris Louder said, more fake news. I mean, I guess people didn't fully listen to the title of the video when I read from the article. Yo, it's crazy work. It's crazy work. But like I said, shout out to y'all. Ready or Not said, remember at Fairlane, it was Kyoto before it was Benihana. Lord, that's taking it back. Sweet mother. I would have to actually ask my mom, because she would probably have a way better memory of that. Because the funniest thing, like, this is the thing, right? Now, Ready or Not, you've been here for a minute, and you're probably of a certain age, right? At a certain point in time, let's say if you were in high school, you could go directly up to Fairlane with no problems, no ifs, ands, or buts, and you can just be there. at a certain point in time in the early 2000s, Fairlane had to start putting in laws, their own laws or regulations, however you want to put it, where they were like, yeah, teenagers are not permitted after a certain time because the kids would come directly in. There used to be a point in time where you would see like a C on the weekends. You would see like Friday to Saturday, especially from like 7 to like 9 or whatnot. You would just see a sea of like high school and probably middle school kids directly in Fairlane. It would just be a sea of them just walking to and from and all of this other type of stuff. And 9 times out of 10, when that happens, you'll start having instances of people fighting. And this is what would take place and happen. And then the police would have to get called. And then in certain instances, they might have to start closing the doors to the mall and start closing up the mall early, all because parents don't know how to manage their kids. It was annoying. So this is when me and my friends were like, all right, we're not even about this life. We don't even do none of this. We game. We might, let's say laughing wise, we may be a little bit loud sometimes, right? Because we're cracking jokes and all of that other type of stuff. But we manage all of our stuff and we don't cause any type of issues, right? And we're all black. So we're like, all right, we ain't doing this. We're going to Oakland Mall. We're going to go out to Oakland Mall, or we'll go out to 12 Oaks. Right, we'll go out to any one of those malls just to be able to just have fun, just to be able to relax, right? To be able to breathe. That's it. And that's what we did. That's what we did for the longest time possible. So I cannot 100% tell you that I remember it being called Kyoto, but yeah. Ty said, I went to the National Mustard Museum before. Don't ask why. Yeah, you just went. Yeah, I technically want to know why now, because this is very interesting. The national, I mean, the funny thing is, a lot of things have a lot of history directly to them, especially when it deals with like mustards and all that. Like I said, it's random stuff sometimes. You just do it just to do it. Just to do it. James Smith said Trump haters are the worst. Who's hating on who? I'm just trying to figure out. We got Sonny in the building. You said the staff in the Asian establishments make certain sounds that I feel like are intended to trigger me to be uncomfortable or burdened by alert. Anything is possible. Tibby said, I don't know. It was a museum for mustard. LOL. Ty was like, me neither, until I drove past it. And I was like, huh, what is that? Tippy said, do you have different mustard flavored dressing? LOL. Jesse said, you watched Solo Leveling. I saw the first season. I haven't caught up on the second one. I'm pretty much all caught up on Dragon Ball Daima, though. I did catch up on that. So that was, one of the animes I finished out right there. I think it might be a few others, but my mind is kind of like gray when it deals with everything that I caught up on, because I'll watch it once and then move on to, the next thing, unless the anime really, in a sense, sticks with me. Tobias said, we reinforce stereotypes when we act out stereotypes. We should always do like you said, treat them like you would want to be treated. I mean, the other thing too is, a lot of people are from, different areas. So, a lot of things are also learned behaviors. So what I may consider to be a negative or wrong, other people from other areas, this is just them. Right. So there's that as well. There's a lot of things that play, into that as well too. Sham said, yeah, and my family gets angry at me when we got to go out to eat. They want me to cook all the time. I like my cooking. I cook real good, but sometimes when I'm sick, I can't cook, so we eat out. Yeah, that's understandable. It's 100%. Sonny said people aren't bothered by having an attitude with black men, as if it's mandated in order to engage with us. Yeah, like I said, I don't know what to tell you. It's crazy work. Sonny said Xbox. You still doing that? Yeah. We do Xbox. Wait, Tippy said she can't download it. Why can't you download it? I could swear, isn't that on It should be on PS4. It should Mecha Break should be on PS4. Check. I told you to sit up there and write a list of games, top 5 games, Tippy. I told you to write that down and send that directly to me, either through IG or even if it's on PlayStation. Whenever I happen to go downstairs to check it, or you can, like I said, Tippy, write. This is what you do, Tippy. I know you got a PS4. Write me a message and write top 5 games. Just give me top 5 games that you are looking forward to. That's all you got to do. I told you this last live stream and I looked all over. You did not follow directions, Tippy. I don't know what's going on. You're slacking off. Jesse said tipping used to be considered un-American during the revolutionary times, right? Jesse said the history is super interesting. Tobias said I understand that when I'm out, I feel like I'm being watched. So I consciously move like I know I'm being watched. Most communication perceived is nonverbal. Move with attention. In my mind, that would mean if somebody thinks I'm going to steal or run off, I'm going to just like do a short run for like no reason. I don't know. Like I said, my mind works a little bit differently. I would find it funny, but I'm pretty sure they wouldn't, and the police would get called. So that's why I don't do it. Ty said they made some weird ish. They have cranberry mustard, beer mustard, and some of the weirdest flavors. Oh yeah, 100%. Kay said cannabis, ginger, calamus, and ketamine. Okay, all right. Ready and I said facts. You could. I stopped going to Fairlane after 99. Yeah, yep, that's facts. That's facts. Sonny said all love. Bars. Tippy said Oakland Mall. I didn't know you traveled to California. No. We got a mall in Michigan called Oakland Mall. So yeah. And we also got one called 12 Oaks, as well too. There's a few other malls there. But yeah. Ready and I said we hooped, played football, and got girls. Yeah, that's facts. The mall was the spot to go to if you wanted to, find somebody. Like, yo, the craziest part is this is a story time, away from the rest of these stories. There was a girl way back in middle school that I knew that I liked during the time. And I was able to, after all of the years of, not seeing any of my classmates, I kid you not, I randomly ran in to her when I was at Fairlane Mall. The oddest thing out of any place that she could have been, it was Fairlane Mall. And I was with my boy Ricky and Chris. And I'll never forget that day. I think we should have been by we were by the escalator. She was with one of her friends that was shorter than her. She had the same hairstyle that she roughly had in middle school. And it was like when we saw each other, it was almost like we were right back in middle school at that same time. And it's the weirdest thing. Like I can't it's the weirdest thing to, in a sense, experience. And again, that was like I've only experienced that twice in my life, where it was somebody that I knew and I saw them again, and it was like I was placed right back in that sign right back in that same time period. Like I said, it was the wildest thing to actually go through and experience. And I remember I was like, yo, I don't want to not see this person. I want to sit up there and catch up. I want to know how she's doing, if she's in contact with anybody else from our previous class in middle school, and if they know about the teachers and everything like that. And the craziest thing, because this is back in the time when cell phones were just really getting there, and I remember I was trying to get a pen or something to write down her number. And magically during the time, for whatever reason, the moment in time you actually need something that's important, you cannot seem to find it. I got a pen, that bad boy didn't work for whatever reason. Her friend was doing some blocking directly out here for no reason. I'm like, I actually know her. We went to school, classes, science fairs, all of that. Like we were sitting up there playing dodgeball, kickball, all of this stuff, right? We ate lunch together. So I'm like, I need you need to sit up there and like Roll Black, you need to calm down. This is when I needed like a wingman to sit up there and play defense real quick. Cause that girl, I don't know if she was hating or whatever it was. She was like, come on, Vanessa, we gotta sit up there and go. Like, we gotta do this, we gotta. I'm like, man, I'm like, I don't like I don't know who that friend is. I don't like you still to this day. I don't know who you are. I don't like you still to this day. Let me tell you. Let me tell you something. But yeah, it was, that was crazy. Why did I bring that up? I don't even know how I even segued directly into the story time. That's how did I get here? Why? It's like, sometimes when you're talking, you just gotta kind of think back to yourself, like, how did we actually get here at this moment in time? I don't know. Also, to other people that may have like some complaints about the live stream, I did list the topic because I do a multitude of clips and videos directly in here, on top of the fact I said and more. So that could just be anything. So, reading is fundamental. I'm just, saying that. I'm also catching up on comments. Oh, technically I think I am catching up. It's 4:37 and I'm at 4:30 right now. So I am catching up to you guys. Crispy said, I used to hang out with the older kids on the block at Lakewood and Cerritos Mall in 98 and 99. Feels like a million years ago. Yeah, it'd be like that. Sonny said, no, you treat them as the bigot racist that they thought it was cute to be. Chrissy said, cops used to chase us for skating. Oh, you must be talking about Cali. Yo, and let me tell you something. Minus everything else that I normally talk about, the one thing that I loved about California, and this is just looking from the outside in, I always loved the skating culture. That was one thing that I just loved. Like, it looked like the most freeing thing ever in life. Like, you just going out there with your friends, you got your skateboard, and y'all just skating. Sometimes you would just like skip school, and for 8 hours, y'all ain't doing nothing but like skating, like around the town and the city, and sitting up there talking, like just having fun. And the craziest thing is, it would be the adults that would have an issue. But I'm like, so would you rather them, like, of course, they maybe they should be in school or whatnot, whatever. But would you rather them be out there in a gang, getting into a gang initiation? Would you rather them be getting locked up? Would you rather them be trying to sell directly on the streets? Or would you rather them be out there with their friends, like-minded individuals, pretty much not causing no problems and skating? I would rather them skate. Like I said, I never understood the thought process of a lot of adults at certain times. I really never understood it. And my whole main thing was that to make sure to never have that type of thought process, because I'm like, things could be worse. Because growing up, let's say in the whole timeline of playing video games, I'm like, I would rather kids be in a house, in a sense. I mean, of course, there's a multitude of things that they can do. You can structure things, right? But I would rather kids be in a house where it's safe, playing video games with their friends and everything, versus being out there in the streets getting into whatever, or potentially hearing about them on the news because a drive-by or some type of stuff happened, or a robbery that went wrong because they didn't want to give up whatever it is that they had while they were playing basketball somewhere, right? So like I said, my perspective is I think is a little bit different. I think Sham said she still didn't send you those games. Make sure you get Dragon Quest Builder 1 and 2 on her list. I'm telling you, Tippy will love it. I gotta trust me. Tippy be listening. She hard-headed. Tippy be listening. Ty says Seiji Mecha Break is crossplay, so let me know when you're trying to hop on. Okay, I got you. Yeah. Trust me, I'm getting on Mecha Break today. I saw you online earlier, but I was trying to get videos, together and whatnot. But I got you. Trust me, I will sit up there and shoot you a message on Xbox, and we will be sitting up there playing. I primarily hold on. Now I gotta log into my game real quick. This is why I got to get a second screen. I kid you not. Let me see. I gotta click over real quick. Hey, let me just make sure we got Miss Anderson in the building. What is up? We got Lala here. She said, I heard PlayStation and Xbox plan on merging. Huh? That would be crazy. I mean, technically, I'm just gonna be real. Let me see. Do we even got that? Do we got news up there? Let me see. PlayStation and Xbox. Let me see if we got any news up here. Let's see, merger news. I don't think we have anything up there. Up, it did come up on Google though. I don't see any stories. That was something from like a year ago. PlayStation planning on major acquisition. That was 2023. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you might have heard something new. Because I was gonna put a picture, directly up there about it. Realistically, for me, I'm just gonna say I don't want it to happen because the console war thing, it's fun. It gives something, people something to talk about, blow some steam directly over, and all of that stuff. And then on top of that, like I said, I like competition, right? So if you got the best on PlayStation and the best on Xbox, bam, on the weekends, you sit up there and battle it out. That's it. That's what we do as gamers. This is what should, in a sense, happen. That's how I see it. Right? Daniel said, who was that? Oh no, that was just the still shot. Is that a video of somebody that was getting a food delivery? That's what that is. Sonny said, as much as it can be assumed that I'm the stereotype black male, as much as I'll make the assumption you're stereotypically racist. I get you. Sam said, no, why? I hope they don't merge. That would be absolutely vile if they do. Daniel said, Jackie Chan, nah. Miss Anderson said, hope not. Nah. Tippy said, my bad. I feel embarrassed now. I don't live in Michigan. No, it's good. It's all good, Tippy. It's all good. It's all good. Like I said, I try to tell a lot of people that you actually have. I gotta, try to click my what's the name over. You actually have a Detroit in a lot of United States areas. So, that's a whole nother thing going on as well, right? Yeah, I see Ty is online at the moment. I'm actually gonna have to do it this way. I'm gonna have to put myself offline. Let me do that. Let me go to Mecha Break, because I was actually on like Monster Hunter Wilds because I had to do my login. Also, for anybody who does play Monster Hunter, make sure to do your logins in the morning, just so that you can get your ticket. And also, I did say that I was going to stream Monster Hunter, and I keep just binging on Monster Hunter. But right now, I've been binging on. Technically, I ain't binge yet. I've been just primarily for hours playing Mecha Break. Yo, where's my controller at? What's going on, brother? Okay, there we go. I don't know why it made me use the D-pad like that. Didn't make any sense. Trying to log in right now so I can tell you what mechs I use. Ultimate maintenance operation, correct. Primarily I use heavies. The main ones I use Tricera, Hurricane, and Stego. And I do use two healers. I got Lumine and Pika. I think I actually got to get another controller because this one is starting to drift. It is doing that slow drifting. But yeah, I use about 1, 2, let me see, highlight that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, I use about like 5 mechs. So 3 defense, 2 healers. Yep, that's pretty much what I do at the moment. Well, I got a friend request. Let me just accept that real quick. All right. I got that up there. Let me try to click this screen directly over. Oh yeah, Miss Anderson, you too. You're another PlayStation person as well. Download Mecha Break. It's free to play. It's a demo that's up there right now, so no excuses. it is another shooter as well. Just to let you know. Sir Crumb said, "What's the name of the mall by 8 Mile of Southfield?" Lord, now y'all sitting up there putting up like directions. Jesus Christ! Wait, 8 Mile of South? Shouldn't we be talking about Fairlane? I normally took it by bus. Hold on, let me see. Lord. I know what it should be. Yeah. Yeah, it should be talking about Fairlane. Now I gotta sit up here. Now I gotta look at the map. Yeah, the D dot. That's the classic right there. Yeah, buddy. Oh Lord. What is all of this stuff directly on? Well, technically, you got to be more specific though, just to be real. Oh, look at that. Oak Park. Good Lord. I have not seen that in a while. I would actually want to sit up there and visit Oak Park High. Just because. Because I have not been there in a while. But I know it's a preparatory right now. So it's been some years. It's been some years. Jesse said, I can picture it like a movie. Yeah. Jesse said, it's a cute story. That said you out here shorter than me and a stick. Yeah. Like I tell, like, you know, the main thing I tell people, you know, I'm like, I'm Wolverine's, you know, actual height. You know, I'm 5'4". You know, I'm short, man. You know, we out here. Shout out to the short kings. We out here. We are out here in these streets. Crispy said, I heard Oakland and thought LA. My bad. No problem. I got you. Tippy says skaters in California are daredevils to me. Most of them stay wearing protective gear, saying that protective gear is for chumps, because I got to paraphrase Tippy, and then get CTE, concussions, or broken bones. Oh yeah, that's another reason why I like skaters. Like, they just be out here. It's like, yo, they breaking like legs and all types of stuff, like, and they get out there and skate. Like I said, much respect to them. Ty said you just getting a little portable monitor. Just get a little portable. I mean, I got the PC you know, monitor, but I would rather just have, you know, 2 monitors. It makes it easier for, you know, streaming, you know. Sonny said, I'd rather my child with a gang of people who protect him and not raising my insurance with broken bones and concussions. I said, I see why SEIJIHITO play Mecha Break. This game got jiggle physics. You know, the funny thing is, I noticed that after I played the game, like, you know, after and out. Funny thing is, I've been playing it since it was on PC. So I've been waiting for this to actually make it to console for a minute. Rabbit said, Favorite Soul dropped a new video today. That fight between Vegeta and Tarble is crazy. Oh, I got to see that. I got you. Crispy said, I don't know if anyone from old school actually made it out. Come to think of it, my parents moved away when I was 12 and I went with them. First I thought about was in 20 first I first thought about it in 20 years. Yeah. Like I said, it'd be like that. You know, you start reminiscing. Tippy said, do a lot of people have cars in Michigan? Yeah. Or do they use trains or bikes? More so, it's the East Coast that will use trains heavily on trains, bikes, you know, things of that nature. You said just asking because I see a lot of people in cities use bikes and trains as transportation. If you see people using bikes in cities, they're usually downtown. Because right now, well, it's been a minute. But at least in certain areas in Detroit, they've started, you know, they were putting in bike lanes and all of these things that let you know that certain people are coming directly into the city that were not there initially. The moment in time you start seeing Starbucks, tea shops, and all of this stuff, that means that there's new people coming into town. Means an influx of money, which means that the main residents here are going to have to deal with an upsurge on, you know, their rent or their mortgage, or potentially be priced directly out. But yeah, we got that. Ready and I said Northland. He means 8 Mile in Greenfield. Oh, okay. I got you. Ready and I said there were some baddies at Oak Park High. I knew a couple. My aunt lives in that neighborhood, right? Dude, let me tell you, when I went to Oak Park, I was living on Kenwood. Like, and you know, you're in Oak Park, right? So Kenwood, literally, that small little, infrastructure, that little mini suburb, whatever you want to call it. It's not even really a suburb. It's like a suburb hood for all intents and purposes, right? But that little area, you had Happy's Pizza directly over there. You had the Tim Hortons that was there at one moment in time when I was in high school. You had a place called Quinn's. Quinn's was a beautiful place. I used to have a burger there called the Mitch because I would order there so many times, and I would specifically order my burger patties like a certain way with fries, sauce, and cheese and whatnot. It was beautiful, tasted great. Let me tell you, and I was honored to have something actually named after me. Hood legend. But yeah, you had that. You had the KFC a little bit further, down the street, and then across the street from that food strip mall that was there. You had the actual strip mall that was, the gas station and everything, and then of course you had the police station that was, within the area and all that other type of stuff. But yeah, me and my friend Michael Christian during that time, whenever it was time, me and my friend Michael Christian and my boy Linnell, and also Big Mike, and also Dre and everybody else. Whenever it was time to go to work, because pretty much everybody lived in the same area, everybody would either drop by either which house, and in the mornings we would play either like the PlayStation or the Xbox right before school. So then we would have 5 minutes to get there, and if it was near my house on Kenwood, we would just jump the fence. We would jump the fence to get directly over to the school, and we're literally there. So we're already on the school property. We're on the track, walking across the grass directly into the side doors to, the schools, and going to like everybody's locker, and we're still talking. Because taking a long way to get directly to the same place made no sense. Like I kid you not, it literally made no sense. And then they started making some type of rules in the school. They was like, you can't be jumping the fence to get to school. Ain't nobody about to be taking a long way. It takes almost about 5 minutes plus to get there. I'm like, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. And then you got to sit up there and walk with other people you don't feel like walking. Hey, nobody's doing that. Nobody's doing that. We're not. But yeah. But yeah, Oak Park, yeah. It was a lot of girls there that were nice. They looked very, very nice. I can say that beyond a shadow of a doubt. Very nice. And some of which I saw directly on the track team. Let me tell you, if as a guy, and, let me put it to you like this: this is before we had social media, right? Where guys, before guys even knew like women were really even working out or whatnot or whatever. This is why I love women. Like I said, I love women of all different sizes. Again, I don't really have, a preference or anything like that. But I admired the fact of the women that worked out. Like I'm sitting up there working out, you sitting up there, working out too. Like if I'm sitting up there running, you're running too. And this was coming from the fact of working with the team that I had during track in Oak Park, where it was pretty much a few guys, me being there. It was me, Troy, Dowell, and the twins, and a few other guys that were there. And then all the rest were girls. And I was like, it was dope to actually see girls working out and, doing the same hard work, doing the exact same training and everything. Like I said, I admired that. That's why, like, when it deals with sports, I admire women who do sports 100%, because I actually firsthand saw this, and I worked, during that time, like we're teenagers, so this would be like girls. I sat up there and worked with the girls and trained and exercised and everything. So, level of respect, that you happen to get for, women directly out here when you are able to go through and experience those things. Dope stuff. Ready or Not said you had the Checkers and they had KFC there too. Yeah, that was one of the main spots that we would go. That's back in during the time that they were turning all of the rallies into Checkers. Yeah. And if I can remember or not, they also had on Davison, they had a Checkers over there as well. They were building up some stuff over there as well too. But they had a Checkers that they were building up on Davison. And then on Davison, you also had the Happy's Pizza that was there. I used to order from them as well too. Ready or Not, you should also well, maybe did I talk to you about this? Maybe you might remember like Famous Pizza. That should have been on Grand River. I never knew anything about Famous Pizza up until my boy Chris, his dad, sat up there and bought that pizza for us. They told us like that's where they would always order directly from. Because on Livernois, there was a spot where was it Jerry's? I forgot. Ready or Not, you know what I'm talking about because you're from Detroit. I don't think was that one called Jerry's. Okay, so on Livernois during it's a long section on Livernois, right? There's a place up there. I'm not sure if it's still up there or not. It was called Trade Winds, right? It was a liquor store that was directly up there. That was like one of the spots people go to play their numbers and to get, all the stuff that they need to get and stuff like that, right? So then from Trade Winds, just down the parking lot, you had this exercise spot, which used to be a daycare center, but they formed it into something else. I think at one point it might have been a video store too. I forgot. It's been a long time, right? But further down that way, you got a black-owned spot. You got two black-owned spots, right? You got one which is the pizza spot, and then across the street, you got another spot which does ribs. The ribs from that spot, I can't even give you the name right now, but the ribs from that spot were great. Like me and my family would sit up there and order. Like when it was like dinner on the weekends, it was like, hey, we're probably going to either get like some fish from the fish place. We would end up either getting ribs. We might have pizza or a variety of things. But yeah. But like I said, shout out to my Detroit natives. Shout out to my Detroit natives. Let me tell you something. Detroit versus everybody. Tibby said, kind of wish I grew up living the city life. Everything is close by you. You don't need a car, just walk. Yeah, Tibby, that's because you're a rich girl. Tibby, we know. With your suburban lifestyle. We know, Tibby. We know, Tippy. We know you. Technically, realistically, the reason I sit up there, I tease you a lot, Tippy. You actually had a PS4 before I had a PS4. So I'm just putting that out there. Had a PS4 before I had one. Ready or Not said, I don't know about Famous Pizza, but I know about the Alabama style chicken though. Right. I got you. Ready or Not said, yeah, I remember Trey Wins. Okay, yeah. So yeah. Yep. What was it? Fruit said, gang, love gang vibes. I don't know what you're talking about. Crispy said, just checked out Mecha Break. My computer is bad and can't handle it, but it looks almost like Gundams. Wish I could play this right now. Need a new Xbox controller. Yo, that's what I'm saying. Like this will I be sitting up there trying to tell people. Mecha Break is a very beautiful looking game. The funniest thing is I've been talking so long, I forgot we had one more video. We have one more video, and I'm like, do I even want to go over the video right now? Because I'm like, the conversation is just completely different. Tippy said, no, I'm not. I never lived in the suburbs. Whatever, Tippy. Whatever, Tippy Tipperton. Whatever you say, man. Whatever you say. Like I said, I got to tease you, Tippy. It's it's just that's how it is. It's how it works. Wait, is on? Let me see. How did I do this? No data. Whew, that looks crazy. Let me tell you. Because if I were to switch sources, would OBS mess up? That is the question. Let me see. That's stream all vertical outputs. That's record. That's backtrack. Vertical virtual camera. Let me see. Wait, if I say stream all sources, does that mean it's gonna mess up the live stream? That is the question. No, so I would actually want vertical camera, right? So let me see if I do that, and then okay, so that did work. It did, but it's not properly showing. Why is it showing like that? Huh. Huh. That looks a little bit. See, this is why, I said before, when I want to, in a sense, have things like set up, I would have to have them set up a little bit different. Let me just see something real quick. Let me just see. All right, so that's the vertical scene. That was the switch. Let me just shut that down. Let me go to sources. It's not media. It will be this here. So then I would I'll basically have to like minimize significantly. No telling how that's going to actually look directly to you guys though. Yeah, it's probably going to look real crazy. Let me see. Stream. Yeah, so you can't like really basically see. I gotta zoom this in. It's probably look terrible. Yeah, it does. It would probably look better in like a widescreen format. But yeah, this is what basically Mecha Break looks like. I'm trying to remember the controls real quick because I'm doing this directly off of the screen as you guys see it. But yeah, this is the game is actually pretty dope. Let me tell you. Whoops, I pressed the wrong button there. You pressed the wrong button. But yeah, like you said, it pretty much looks just like a Gundam game. These are pretty much all the ones that I colored. I tend to go with the more of the brighter colors because I'm like, you're going to see me directly on this battlefield. You're going to see me. What was it? Didn't I go like lemonade on one of these? I think is this luminous? Yeah. I wanted to technically try to go for like a lotus flower type of thing because I think I can't even fully see the colors. Didn't I do this like a pink and black? I think I did. But yeah. Like I said before, anybody that is a gamer at this moment in time, please try out. It's a free to play game, PlayStation and on Xbox and on PC. Mecha Break. Go and try, the game directly out. If you like mechs, if you like anything dealing with mobile suits or anything like that, you will actually love this game. This is by far the close, even when it deals with like movement, this is the closest game that you will actually get when it deals with Gundams, when it deals with mobile suits, when it deals with robots. Like the movement that they have in here is crazy. If anybody is actually a Gundam fan, they have one. I wish it would just go by the normal previews. They have one on here that's close to a Wing Zero. I can't see the name because I'm trying to do this a little bit differently. Let me see. Hold on. Let me minimize that. I actually gotta have OBS up. And now I won't be able to actually see you guys' comments real quick. Okay, so we got Stego. I think it's Falcon, right? Yeah, I think it should be Falcon because one of these can actually transition into flight mode. Let me see if this is the one. Also, much love, respect, and appreciation to any and all people that are currently on the live stream at the moment. Let me see. Oh yeah. This is the one. Yep. Yep. Then you can dive. You can, pull some speed, shoot. I think where the bombs at? I think the bombs are the B button. Right, you got missiles and everything like that. Yeah, this is the closest thing that you got to Gundam. Like, I kid you not. I would actually show you the front, but I can't do that. Okay, I can swap the strikers from there. Oh, beautiful. What was one of the ones? Tricera. The one, it's tough. Tricera is technically, these are like ultra defensive, like mechs. So let me see. So I did that. I got Tricera. So how would I get back into training? Do I press the B button? Prepare. Yeah, we already swapped the striker. So where is the button? Oh, I guess you got to press Y. Reading is fundamental, right? So this is Tricera right here. You got your little tank mode that you can pretty much do. You got 2 guns that you can fire on top of a cannon that has, 3 shots. Shields on all 4 sides, each with their own health pool. I want to say is it cumulative together or if it's just one or the other? I'm not sure. But yeah, that's pretty much, how that one in a sense does. The other one that's technically is 2 mechs that's in a sense heavy arms, right? So you got Tricera, and then you have the other one that I used, which is not Hurricane, it would be Stego. The only thing that technically sucks, and that's the new skin that I just got from the PvE mode that they got. And this is the other thing too. So if people like PvE or people like PvP, they got both of those directly in the game. Right? So this is Stego with the cosmetic that I ended up getting. And he has the same thing that he can do. The only difference is you can't 360. I wish that they would actually change this. I feel like you should be able to 360, but I guess they had to limit that in some type of way. But the reason why I say this one is technically another heavy arms is because you have both a cannon, long shot, right? And you have rockets on top of this. Oh, I don't have a target, do I? Dang. All right. I can't do it. Wait, can you put targets in here? I don't think they let you because you need a target. So what if you can actually see me hitting the X button on screen? When you hit the X button, you're supposed to be able to fire missiles. And I'm talking about you're firing a volley. Like if you ever seen Vegeta on Dragon Ball Z fire like a volley of like energy blast, that's in a sense what you're doing. Like all you're going to see, your team and the enemy team will see you in one position and you're firing what seems to be like 30 or 50 rockets directly across the field. Like it's dope. So, you can just, drop down, a whole bunch of like fire and whatnot. So it's pretty dope. Like I say, anybody out there that's a gamer and whatnot, again, closest game that we have right now that is close to Mobile Suit, Gundam, anything, highly give it a chance and a try. This is something that pretty much I think everybody would actually like. This is a one that we don't actually get to use at the moment in time because you got to unlock him through the battle pass. So this is actually my first time trying him out. Whoa, what was that? Oh, that's what? Brother, are you serious? This man was doing shadow clones? Oh no. Yeah, I'm going, oh man. I shouldn't have seen that. Yo, this ain't gonna be getting my money. They probably gonna give me money off of this. So that's just a normal move that you can happen to do. I guess you could consider that like an ult that'll go down on a 25-second cooldown. They do have different mods and stuff on here where you can, deal with cooldowns for certain things, such as like your jets that you may use. This is crazy. That double image, that's wild. And you just keep hitting B to do it. That's dope. That is dope. My bad. That's my first time seeing it. So you got basically, what is that, like a shotgun? And then what is, oh, so he got like 2 shotguns basically. And okay, so he would be close up then, I guess. And he does more so of a focused centered beam from across the map. Okay, so that's pretty dope. That's pretty dope. I like that. But yeah, give the game a shot. My bad. Let me get off the screen because I was almost tempted. I was about to start doing the match real quick, and I remember we're doing a live stream right now. Let me see. Ready or Not said, if you don't have a car at a metropolitan Detroit area, you wasn't getting nowhere. I mean, that's true. That's true. That's true. Ty said, Jesus, this man don't know how to stream anymore. Yo, let me tell you, Ty, it's a work in progress, brother. It's been a minute since I've, tried to go like back and forth. That's why I said it's a lot easier on 2 screens. Because then I could just like swap it real quick, bam, swap scenes, and there we go. Tippy said, live in a small town where you would assume I live in a rural area or a farm country. I don't know. My town is confused on what to name itself. They don't know if it's a town or a city. LOL. Oh man. Crispy said, you ever play Warframe? Yes. I played Warframe since about, what was it, like 2012? Like basically Warframe and Smite. Technically during those areas, actually I want to say I played Warframe maybe a little bit earlier, potentially. Trust me, I've been a 10-0 for a long time. Only those in Warframe know. Only those in Warframe know. Now I will sit up there and say, have I gone through a lot of the Warframe, the up-to-date Warframe story? Not really. I tend to be a wallet warrior, and if I see a Warframe that I like with some new powers and whatnot, I'll buy that Warframe. I'll do my old school ways of going through a tier defense or a survival, and I will level them up that way. Like I said, I'm old school. So the main way that we would level up is you go to the Orc and Derelict. You might want to deal with the Infested, to get, certain parts or whatnot or whatever back in the olden days. Or you would have the tier 1 through 4 defense missions, tier 1 through 4 defense missions that they would have. We don't really have that now. So you can pretty much just do other stuff to, increase, certain things and whatnot. But yeah, I'm more so like survivals though, because it allows me to see how far I can push, like my little mediocre build on what it is that, I'm since doing or would like to do. But yeah, Warframe is dope. I've always loved Warframe, still love Warframe to this day. And I also love how they make the female Warframes as well. They got shapes. They got shapes. So shout out to DE and how it is that they do that, because they know how to do it. Most said, I grew up watching Robotech, and this is really familiar. Oh yeah. Like I said, try it out. Like I said, Mo, I don't know if you got a game system or not, but I would highly recommend you try out that game. Try out the game. Like, I am not kidding you. Like, the amount of fun. Like, I haven't been in an Xbox party with all of my friends where we've played the same game in a while. Some of us we play Call of Duty and whatnot, but a lot of people happen to get frustrated. It's like, yeah, whatever. But this right here is a little bit different because this is what we grew up on. Like, we've always wanted to play mobile suit type of games. We always wanted to be the pilot. We always wanted to have like the Wing Zero and all this stuff from like Endless Waltz and whatnot. They've done it. The only thing that I need for them to do is to acquire the license. I don't know what they would have to do. If they can acquire the license to be able to use Gundam skins in this game, they're getting my money. They are getting my money. And the craziest part is the way that the colorways that you can do directly on there and how in depth that you can actually go. Like, I like doing like just standard issue basic stuff. So I'll just do the outer layers. I'm not, really so much dealing with like layers 1 through 3 underneath, like the wing or my armor. I'm not, really in a sense trying to do that at the moment. I can, but I'm just not. I just want something that you can see and I can just do real quick, jump in the battle, start knocking people down, right? But you can do a lot of like stuff directly on here. On top of the fact that they have skins that you can unlock, over time. As well, either through the battle pass or through the boxes that they got. So yeah, and again, this is going to be from what I remember, this should be a free to play game, so you will be able to just jump in, play, get stuff by unlocking the in-game currency, or of course you can do the premium way and pay money. Either which way, it is directly up to you to how it is that you want to play. But I promise you, once you touch this game and you go through training and you find a mech that you want, you're probably going to spend some money to get that mech. Because I know I do that a lot on games. I'm like, if I happen to see something, I'm buying that right now. Where's my card? I'm buying it, Ty said I've been trying to get people to play Warframe. I just haven't played it in a while. That's pretty much it. And I transferred all of my stuff over from the one time that I was able to catch the transfer. I transferred all of my stuff over from PC over to my Xbox account. So it's all pretty much in one. So I got some duplicates, and I swear I got some Warframes missing that I bought, but stuff happens. I didn't feel like submitting the ticket either, so I'm like, whatever. I'm just not gonna worry about it, right? Crispy said, I don't know what they're doing with it lately. I haven't logged on, but Warframe is a lot of fun. Space Ninjas and Power Armor bars, and we also got Soulframe as well, the other game that DE is coming out with too. Ty said, "Oh, they're doing a lot, to be honest." Okay. Raj, what is up? You said which game? Well, two games we were talking about. One is Warframe, which is what people were talking about, but the game that you see in front of you is called Mecha Break, which is a free-to-play mech robot, game that is coming out this year. Should be maybe this month or next month. And like I said, if you got a game system, try it out. Me trying to explain it to you, I might do a bad job, but I would just highly recommend you will not be disappointed if you try it out. You will have to go through the trials that they have, the little training that they have, and whatnot. But once you get through that, you'll be in the game and you'll be like, wow, like this is great, Well, especially if you like stuff like that, Tippy said, funny, I said it would be nice to live the city life, but I don't like tall buildings. They creep me out. I mean, those tall buildings help out though. Like, especially let's say if it's snow or if it's raining, those tall buildings will block out some rain. I'm just gonna, put that directly out there. Sham said, reminds me of an anime I was watching recently. Yeah, like I said, the game is dope. Like I said, anybody that is a gamer, even if you might be a part-time gamer, like let's say like you're a parent, you're not really into games, but you have watched, some Japanese anime, try it out. Just try it out. Have some fun. You don't gotta worry about being the worst at the game or whatnot. Just try it out and have some fun. And you will probably get attached to it. Like I said, I feel like every now and again there will be games out there that will pull in people who would never think that they would actually be gamers. And that's the one thing that I love about gaming. Like gaming, any and everybody could. It don't matter if people might be like disabled or handicapped, whatever it is. Everybody can basically find a game that they pretty much love and play, and have fun. But yes. The other game you might see me talk about is Fragpunk. That is coming out I want to say this month, even though it got pushed back. So I'm not sure when that's coming out, and that's a free-to-play shooter that is on Xbox. I think it's it should be on Xbox and PC, and I think it might be a timed exclusive. I think so. I'm not sure if it may be coming out to PlayStation or when it will come to PlayStation. But yeah, that's another dope game that puts a twist on shooters. So if anybody is into shooters, do some research and check out Fragpunk. And let me know specifically what you think directly about that game and everything that they have listed. Like this is where I put it. Imagine playing Call of Duty with Yu-Gi-Oh cards. That's the best way I can put it. Right. So imagine like you got this deck, right? And you're playing Call of Duty, and it's like, all right, I'm losing this match. I need something to basically swap this. So it's like, bam, let me shuffle my deck real quick. Let me pull out one of these cards from my hand. I play this trap card where you can no longer get headshots because nobody actually has a head on the game. So now you got to do strictly body shots. You can do that. Or I play this magic card where instead of the map being, a barren wasteland, I can now put grass up, or I can turn it into winter, or I can add rain, or I can do the classic Nintendo 64 and I can put on big head mode, right? So that's for those who throw back to a lot of, games from like the 90s and whatnot, or whatever, where you put in the cheat codes, right? So yeah, it's a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. Mo said, I believe GTA 6 is going to bring all the Gen X old heads out. Oh yeah, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there, frontline and center, right there playing GTA with you guys, frontline and center. Like I said, I'm playing no games. We will be there on GTA. You will see GTA directly on this channel or these channels. Either which way it goes, you're going to see that take place. Also, much love to everybody from both sides of the channels as well. We got 29 on the original and 30. I'm sorry, we got 35 on the original and 38 on the second channel. Much love, respect, and appreciation. We actually had a high count earlier, especially when we were talking. I think it almost gravitated somewhere up to about like 400 people. I wish somehow, somewhere, I'm going to actually have like the 3 different counters up here because I got both of the channels, but y'all can't see the StreamYard count. But I'm going to, put that up there so y'all can actually see what it looks like, all together one of these days. Ty said, I won't be there. I feel like Ty is saying that because he's going to be somewhere around the world. Like Carmen San Diego. Where in the world is Carmen San Diego? That type of deal. But yeah, we're gonna sit up there and see what takes place. Oh, I did not know. Oops, that was 27 minutes ago. But yeah, obviously I was where are we at right now? Almost 2 hours and 46. All right, so yeah, we did pretty good. And technically we ended it on a video game. Pretty light conversation towards the end, and whatnot or whatever. So again, shout out to anybody out there that is a gamer that enjoy conversations and things like this. Again, I will have live streams where I will just solely bring this type of content directly to y'all, so people can just relax and enjoy. No need to debate and argue 24/7, 365 days of the year. Like I said, everybody needs to take a break, decompress from a lot of the stuff directly out here. This is why I'm a gamer. This is why I like video games, because you can decompress and have fun. Don't matter if you like sports games or whatever it is. Even though I don't play sports games at this moment, I ain't played them in a while. Like I said, I'm right there with you. Now it will switch up. Now if we happen to have fight night, whenever EA brings out the brand new fight night, I'm going to be there. Last time I really played Fight Night was Fight Night Round 3, and I used to play that with my boys. We used to go over Big Mike house, and we used to sit there and be on the sticks on the back in the day when you had the Xbox 360 Elite. We would just be there and we would be playing some Fight Night along with some Halo, and those would be the weekends right there. Let me tell you, sun up to sundown, we would just be in the house. We would just be laughing and everything. Like I said, I miss those times. Those were great times, beautiful times. But now we got online, so technically we can do that from our own homes. It's not exactly the same, but it is close enough. Rabbit says, Seiji, they're coming out with a Pokemon Coliseum remake. It's called Pokemon Stadium. Oh no, trust me, I'll be there for that too. I got a Switch. It's either we'll either be playing it on a Switch or the Switch 2. Trust me, I will be there for Pokemon. Just like some of you guys saw me play. One of these days, I'm not going to say when, because I'm bad at keeping certain stuff current. One of these days, I'm just going to start a live stream and y'all going to see me playing Pokemon Unite. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it from the double stream standpoint because it might be a little bit silent. because Stream Yard, for whatever reason, does not specifically pick up the sound, and I'm not sure specifically how to do that exactly or how to feed it, in there. So yeah, I still gotta, figure that one out. It's a work in progress, but we'll get there. But yeah, some of these days you're just gonna see me just click on the stream. It's like, oh, Seji's live. Let me see what he's talking about. And Seji's gonna be sitting up here playing multiplayer and just chilling and talking to y'all. That's it. And I promise you, we still, no matter how many people are there, let's say we got like 15 people just watching, you're still gonna have trolls, in the background just trying to say something which don't make no sense. I'm like, this ain't even a stream. I'm like, you should have said that like 2 to 3 days ago. Tippy said, I suck at sports games. I tried. I mean, it's a work in progress. Hand-eye coordination, it's a work in progress. Trust me, I get it. I understand. I ain't played Madden or whatnot in a while, but there are different types of, sports games directly out there. So, you can always find something. Wii Sports is a beautiful sports game. I'll tell anybody about that. Like, see me in some Wii bowling. See me on some Wii bowling or some Wii golf. We are in those streets. Give me a Wiimote real quick. Bow, flip of the wrist. We out there cooking. Tippy said, anybody know a rich person who's generous and loves giving gifts? I need a console. Tippy crazy. Tippy is crazy. Tippy is crazy. But yeah, that's it. That is it. But again, we got 68 people here. Thank you guys for being here, staying here with me. Shout out to anybody who has donated in the past, present, or the future to any of the live streams. Shout out to anybody who has subscribed by way of membership. Shout out to anybody who subscribed by way of Patreon. And again, shout out to all the support and you guys staying directly through any and all commercials. Would not be able to do any of the things that I do every day without people like you. And a special shout out to all of the haters directly out there that come here and see their way to be here. Shout out to y'all. Much love. But anyways, you guys are now free. What is that? Blue said, what you doing? Nothing much. Ending the stream while you guys are able to look at a video game called Mecha Break. Go out there and try it out if you are a gamer. But yeah, about to end the stream. But again, much love, respect, and appreciation to any and all who have been in attendance at this moment in time. Love you guys, appreciate you guys, value you guys for everything that you guys do. And hit that like button, even though I say that I don't like saying that, but yeah, hit that like button. And everything like that. And also, if you got to catch the replay, make sure to leave a comment. And for those who were not able to make it through the whole 2 hours and 52 minutes, I will also have all of these videos in compilation form and have my opinion afterwards, for a shorter vid that's normally, depending on the length, anywhere from 8 to about 15 minutes long. So you got that to look forward to as well on the secondary channel. But anyways, Blue said, I'm late. Yeah, it'd be like that sometimes. It'd be like that sometimes, but you'll be able to, hit the replay if you want to, go back and listen to it and see what it was that I was commenting on and, and talking about. But also, shout out for, coming directly in, shout out. But again, love you guys. I'll see you guys a little bit later. You are free. Go out there and get some Uber Eats. Tip your drivers. Go out there, cook some food, get your feng shui directly in order, or do whatever it is that you guys do. And until the next stream, peace out.